All right, here we fucking go. I am fucking pumped for this, you guys. Welcome back. I'm excited to do another episode for you guys. I am going to Texas this weekend to scout podcast locations. We've been talking about this a lot. I'm excited to finally get down there and do that, see some of my buddies. Shout out to Josh Siegel down there, going to see him. Some of you guys know him as Schwa. Gonna hang out with him. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram or join the Patreon, because that's where that extra content's gonna be. So Patreon is Jared Singer Live. Patreon.com/Jared Singer Live. That's actually a great accidental open to this ad read. We are doing the 420 special. Last time I talked about this, I said it was going to be $2 on Patreon. We have decided it's going to be $1 on Patreon. And here's why. I want you guys to understand that we are not trying to make money off of this 420 special. We are only putting it behind this sort of pseudo paywall because we have to pre-record it, you guys. I got married on 420. Literally April 20th is my wedding anniversary, so I'm not doing a podcast on 420. It's just not happening. But it's 420, right? So we got to do something. So we decided we're going to pre-record the 420 special on April 17th. It's a Saturday. We're going to do it at noon Central Time. And if you guys want to come hang out, I created a temporary tier. It's $1. You can go all the way up to the day of the 20th, pay $1, come hang out with us live, interact, comment, all that good shit, and then you don't even have to worry about being billed again, because we're just going to cancel that tier as soon as the special's over. It's very limited time, so I just kind of wanted to touch base with that. So go to patreon.com/Jared Singer Live, sign up for the $1 Patreon, and it will just be there on 417, and then it'll premiere on 420. We do have a special. I got something special planned for that one, so I hope you guys come hang out with us. It's only $1. It's cheap, and by the time Patreon takes their fees and credit card processing fees and shit, we're not making anything off that anyways. But regardless, let's get to our ad reads. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Shooter Lube. You knew it was coming. The same thing every time, right? So bottom line is, Shooter Lube is the motherfucking cleaning shit I use to take care of my guns. Go to shooterlube.com and join the revolution by using Singer at checkout to save 10%. They also do free shipping on any orders over $35 and 100% money back satisfaction guarantee. It is a two-stage cleaning system, so I think it's $20. You get the whole kit. Make sure you use Singer and you get 10% off as well. So join the revolution and go to shooterlube.com and use promo code Singer to save 10% at checkout. This episode of the podcast is also sponsored by Werner Elements. Now, there's a special going on right now. He's got some really cool shit going on. Basically, what's happening is he is purchasing tcbands.com. The merger is not complete. Once it is complete, it's going to be called WeHost. But for now, you can still go to TC Bands, an exclusive for JSC listeners. No one else knows about this. He's not advertising this for anyone, but exclusively for the JSC listeners. You guys can go there and you can get, and I've been fucking this up, so I want to back up and I want to reiterate this. Here's the deal. For $60, you can get your own domain name and a year hosting. And when I say $60, that's like unlimited everything. So all the buzzwords that fucking people need for web hosting bullshit, I'm not smart enough to tell you what it all is, but I know that for $60 you get it all. It's unlimited. But you can get hosting right now for JSC listeners. If you go to tcbands.com, you can get hosting for as low as $1 a month. And you can purchase your domain name right through them as well. So worst case scenario, it's like $60 for you to pick up a year worth of hosting and get a domain name. So make sure you guys go there before he actually completes that merger, because then it will become WeHost, and prices are going up, not significantly, but they're going up enough to where you want to jump on this now. Werner Elements, though, is a web design company. They will help you do whatever you guys want online, okay? We're all trying to fucking figure out our side grinds here, whether you're a comedian, you're a podcaster, whether you're a musician, artist, visual artist, graphic design, whatever. Who gives a fuck? Bottom line is, you need a website. Get off the goddamn social medias, because you don't own shit on there. You can't track shit on there. They own you. You're the product. Okay, that's why it's free. There's always a catch to things that are free. Okay, so what you need to do is go hit up Werner Elements. Go over there. He'll give you a free consultation. He'll put together a down to the penny price so you know exactly what is going on and what you're signing up for. And if you use the promo code Singer, you'll save an additional 10% off that contract. So those are two separate deals kind of coming through the same company there. And last thing I want to just plug one more time is the 420 special. It's $1, guys. Go to jaredsinger.com, or I'm sorry, yeah, you can actually go to jaredsinger.com and find the fucking promo to the Patreon. But otherwise, just go to patreon.com/jaredsingerlive. It's $1. Come on, come hang out with us. It's going to be a blast. Someone may or may not be doing some mushies on that podcast. I can neither confirm nor deny those suspicions. You will have to pay the $1 to come find out live. There you go. All right, with no further ado, this episode of the podcast is sponsored, or not, oh my God, I just, muscle memory just went right back into another sponsorship. I'm an idiot. Bottom line, I'm a moron. With no further ado, though, tonight's podcast, guys, I'm very excited for it. His name is Clay Deters. He is the lead singer and rhythm guitar player I think he's the rhythm guitar player for The Issue. Another great band based out of here in Minneapolis, doing some really fucking cool shit. I hope you guys enjoy hanging out with us. I'm not breaking my no alcohol April, so when you guys see me, if you're watching live, if you see me drinking beer, it's non-alcoholic beer. I'm giving you a heads up right now. I found a non-alcoholic beer recommended to me, and that's what I'll be drinking tonight. But hopefully you guys enjoy this one. So with no further ado, the all-encompassing Clay motherfucking Deters. That basically is the point. Gotcha.
But we actually he didn't produce that one. We recorded at the studio in Arden Hills, that one that I had told you about when you called me on the phone that one day. Yeah. We do a lot of work there. We tracked we did all the tracking on that last song there, and then we just sent all the tracks to Ian and he mixed it. So
That's cool.
He nailed it.
He's awesome.
Like he called me, he's like, I could tell you guys like recorded these tracks professionally. He's like, they're not recorded exactly how I would have recorded them, but he's like, this is stuff I can work with. I'm down to do this. And he nailed it. So we're like, all right, well, let's do some tunes, you know.
Right on.
So we're doing a single with him and then probably a bunch more after
When's that coming out?
I'm honest, there's not a set date yet. I was actually just texting with Ian before I came in here, and he's talking about when we want to try and put that out. So we've done the pre-production demoing on this tune. It's just a matter of getting in and getting it recorded with him at this point. So hopefully recording this month is what we're trying to do. So
are you?
He's
guys,
a busy guy, you know.
Is that your game plan? You guys are on the single train, because that's what a lot of kids are doing now. Is they're not nearly as worried about doing an album or even an EP.
Yeah,
they're just doing single, and then do you group them together and call that an album once it's all done?
How does
that work now?
Yeah, that's our plan. We have an album's worth of material. And you know, with COVID and not being able to play shows, for us, we just fucking play, and that's what pays for all our shit, is playing a bunch of shows. So we partially got pushed to the single train because that's really what a person could afford to do. But then it's like, okay, well, it's worth, as a new band, it's definitely worth taking the time to build your Spotify numbers before you put an album out. So it's like, for us, you know, our Spotify numbers are what you'd expect of a, you know, local band. I don't even know what our subscriber count is. We had, just with this new tune, we had a few thousand monthly listeners, but once the hype dies off, that'll drop. But it's worth doing the singles and just taking, using those singles as like your YouTube channels and your Spotify, really trying to build those up before you actually put the album out. And take advantage of the songs, because it seems like nobody listens to albums anymore, realistically. If we're going to be honest about it, everybody goes and listens to their favorite song on Spotify from their artists,
That's something I'm struggling with, because that's definitely not true for me. For me, when I find a band, like, I'm not even going to call myself a fan of your band until you've got a collection, like an album or two, that I actually can sit there and listen to, and there's multiple songs I dig on each album, then I'm like, yep, I'm a fan of them guys.
And I feel like that's how most musicians, I would say that's how 90% of musicians are with listening to other music, you know, because I'm the same.
But we represent
I'm the same way.
30% of the music listeners,
exactly.
right?
You know, if we're just talking about the general population, I'm not saying the general population's dumb, but if you're just a general population person that's not a musician and you really don't give a shit about albums or anything anymore because you don't have to go and buy an album to listen to music, they just go and listen to their favorite songs. So, you know, you just that's why it's like, fuck it, you know, we're going to put some singles out and push some shit, and then we'll put the album out when we feel we're ready and the songs are fucking, you know, rock solid. So buy some time to, I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks, you know, it like, you know, we're going to do hard copies too, just for personal gratification.
What kind of hard? What are you choosing for your media?
When our last EP that we put out, we went through copycats.
Would you do CDs?
Yeah, we did CDs.
You guys do vinyl yet?
We have not.
See, vinyl's dope, but you got to go real limited run on that, like 25 of them, you know, and fucking put them behind
get like pre-orders and stuff.
Yeah, and do them on like a Patreon thing where you know you got real dedicated fans, even if you only got 5 or 10 of them. Right. You know, but they automatically get one at the top tier. So boom, there's 5 or 10 of your 25 automatically gone. So you really only got 10 or 15 to sell. Shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
Because that, when you have real fans, that kind of shit does matter. And I think it's really cool when they have something tangible like that.
Right. Well, and it's weird because vinyl's
back too.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Vinyl's made a comeback. Didn't I hear recently, like within the past year or two, that vinyl sales outsold CDs?
I think that's correct.
Like last year or the year before, I'm pretty sure.
Correct.
Which is crazy.
I'm pretty sure there's people watching already. Let me make sure fucking public chat's on, because sometimes this gets a little hokey.
Oh, I suppose we're live. I wasn't even paying attention.
Let's see here. Live chat is on. All right, so Jamie's, look that up. I believe that is true. Yeah, that's the
so
fans. Because they're more than fans. They're our producers. Our viewers are our producers. They're not, so they're the Jamies.
That's cool.
So Jamie's, look that up. I believe he's correct. Vinyl.
Big Joe Rogan guys here.
Yeah, right. Right?
Dude, I fucking love Joe Rogan.
Vinyl sales outpaced CDs. And I believe that is, I don't know when, but I think you're correct.
I'm pretty sure either 2020 or 2019. It might have been 2019 that happened.
Thank
but
God for the Zoomers, man. I'm telling you, your generation, your generation and younger. Thank God for you guys, man. You're saving the world one fucking thing at a time, dude.
You know, it's crazy.
My generation is just idiotic. You know, we act like, oh, fuck it, we know shit. No, we don't.
Yeah.
Like, you guys know way more than we do.
Well, the difference is, I think my age is probably right at the top end of that, where we grew up with the technology already there. So like the whole thing of like computers and smartphones and stuff, like it's like it was always there. So to us, it's not like
social media.
We don't know any different. So it's not a new
pretty
thing.
Much always been
it was always there. You know.
Like, think about this, how old I am, right? And I'm really not that old, but compared to you guys, I am. Think about this. I was almost 20 years old by the time Facebook was available to everyone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because it started off just at Harvard for a while. So not when it came out, but like I was almost 20 years old.
That's crazy.
That means you were like 10.
I know. So that's the thing. It's like it was always there for me. You know,
Right.
we didn't know any different. And
I think that makes it easier for you guys. Because it's just
totally
part
does.
of your environment that you're growing up with. For us, it threw in a radical change on how we handled things. And I think my generation's a little weak because we also had really helicopter-y style parents that already made us kind of soft and malleable. And I just feel like your generation is fucking awesome. Like from my little brother who's 20 all the way from in Logan, he's only a couple years older than my brother, a couple years younger than you, and then you. And fucking I think Joey Moyo's right in your guys' age bracket. It's cool to see you guys not falling for all the same bullshit that we do. Meaning like you guys are fully willing to fucking just plunge in head first online. Like you fucking make a music video. I got buddies that make music videos. Some of their songs are better than your guys's, and maybe they even could make a better music video than what you guys did. But guess what? They don't have 94,000 views.
Yeah.
You have 94,000 views on one of your videos.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're not playing games here.
Yeah.
Like, you guys get it. There's a game to be played, and we're not doing it.
Yeah.
You guys are. We're not.
Well,
we're not playing games. You guys are looking at it like it's fun.
Right.
We look at it like it ruined our art form. No, it didn't, you guys.
Yeah.
There's kick-ass young rock bands coming out, dropping shreds on the motherfucker, running circles around us.
Well, I think the difference with our generation is we didn't see it as a threat. We saw it as a utility.
An opportunity.
An opportunity. It's just another way of getting your music out there. It's another way of building your brand. And for us, it was there already. You know, by the time we got to the age where we could figure out like how to actually do it, like it's still clunky. And like, we're obviously the technology and how crazy things are getting online with what people are doing is just at like a crazy pace, of just quality content. But that's also just because we came into it already like having our grasp of it before we could even use it. Yep. We had been around it. We knew what it was. And when we just start promoting our stuff, it's like, okay, what do? You throw it online because it's easily accessible. You can put anything on YouTube. And then it's like, okay, let's get hard copies. And so it's weird that it was almost the other way around first. But we all want to do hard copies because as a musician, you're just like...
There's still something to holding the tangible thing in your hand.
You grew up listening to albums, like even our generation, I guess I don't know for sure, but I listened to CDs. Like I grew up in a small town where there's a Walmart.
Streaming,
but you go to Walmart
is
and buy
only
a
5
CD.
years old.
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
Really, like true streaming, the way we think of it, where now it's the standard.
Yeah.
Where streaming is the standard, not like it was invented 5 years old. Where
right.
that's only 5 years old, man.
I mean, you had iTunes, but it
wasn't the
streaming.
Standard. It wasn't, and it wasn't the standard either.
Right.
It was like you would still like, if you downloaded shit from iTunes, it still was on an iPod.
You put it on a CD.
Yeah, and you would still burn it on a CD so you could listen to it anywhere other than your iPod.
Car.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy though how short of a span this is an odd comment as far as vehicles go, but the aux input on your car, how short of a span that was, because you had CD players which held on for quite a long time, and then you had a brief moment of aux cords where people actually plugged their phones right in, and then it was just Bluetooth.
Yep.
And now they have neither. The new vehicles don't even have an aux cord or a fucking CD player in them. It's just Bluetooth.
Yep. Yeah, and then you're like, well, fuck, what if my thing doesn't have Bluetooth? It's like you have one other option. You have one other
radio.
option. Exactly. And it's kind of amazing because it happens, dude, where like your Bluetooth just won't work for some reason. Like your phone stops connecting to Bluetooth.
You're in the middle of
one
nowhere.
other option. You hook this thing up to the bottom of your phone port or your iPod or whatever through its aux port, and it goes onto a radio frequency.
Yep.
And that's how I used to have to. I remember when I first started rocking my iPod, I clicked this thing into my iPod, hit play on it, and turned my radio to a specific radio station, and I'd be rolling. It sounded like shit because it's over the radio. I knew, because that was also a short-lived technology. That was like in between CDs and Bluetooth. That was like Bluetooth had just come out and it was spotty at best.
Well, and you had the Bluetooth things that you could actually plug into the aux port that would connect to your phone, and that was a short little stint too.
Yep. And all those things still exist. They're just like only on Amazon, and people buy them for weird. You're in a weird pinch in a travel scenario,
right?
Because I still got like 4 or 5 of them random fucking things somewhere in the house. I haven't used them in so long, because it's exactly what you said. Everything is Bluetooth now.
Everything's Bluetooth now.
But going back to your original point, I think you're right, because there's still something special about holding a physical album in your hand. So let me ask you this: even though you're more of the generation where streaming and those things are normal, when you do fall in love with a band, you still buy a CD, don't you?
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, if you can. I mean, the best place you can do it is on their website, because that's just directly feeding the hand that's delivering the content to you. But I like I'll still randomly, even though it's not worth a shit anymore, I'll still randomly stroll by the CD aisles in Walmart and Target and shit, and just be like, if something catches my eye, or even like an older band, it's like, shit, I don't think I have that CD. I'm gonna buy it just for shits and giggles. But I like listening to CDs, because that's, I would say any downfall to the streaming and singles route before the album is the album process or writing process kind of falls by the wayside a little bit. Not that every song like tied together necessarily in what it was saying, but when you put the album together, you made sure the songs flowed properly, and it was like, awesome.
The whole thing was a collection of art.
It's front to back. It just smacks you in the face. There's no dead spots. Where it's like, if you're doing the online streaming thing and you just are rattling off singles, and then you're just like, here's an album, which is basically what we're doing, so it's like, even while we're writing these singles, a guy tries to be mindful that it is going to be an album. So it's like,
at some
we
point,
write it kind of as an album, and then we're like, okay, we're going to take 4 or 5 of these as singles. What's the best option here?
That's what I think people got to start doing. Is what you do is like, you write your main 8 songs, right?
Yep.
And that's your album.
Right.
That's what goes on fucking Spotify and iTunes and all that other shit.
Yep.
But if you want to get anyone in my generation or your generation, I truly believe this, if you want to get them, and I've been drinking way too much on every podcast, so I probably have never actually fully explained this. My attitude is this: if you want to convince me nowadays to circumvent the convenience of just streaming your shit on a premium service I already pay for, meaning iTunes, if you want me to go above and beyond that and buy your physical product, like your album on vinyl or a CD, make it more than what I have access to online. Make it special.
Yeah.
Make it worth it. So put copies of your fucking videos that you make.
Sure.
Maybe you make 2 or 3 videos for your actual singles.
Yep.
There's a DVD in there. There's a behind the scenes of when you're recording,
right.
Fucking you put together a little 20-minute documentary. That's also on that DVD.
Yeah. Easy content too. Just set a fucking couple cameras up while you're recording.
Exactly. And again, these are things you're probably already doing anyways.
Yep.
And and then you can put little snippets and things up in a Patreon wall and all that kind of shit, and then you can put it all together in a beautiful, tangible package,
right?
And put it up there for your people who actually pledge $10 or $15 a month to support you. Because what's your CD or DVD total production cost and sale point? Probably $20 tops.
Yep.
Okay, because you're doing all this other shit too.
Right.
Throw some stickers in there. You know, fucking do the fold out so kids can actually like unfold the whole CD jack and they have a poster. They have a fucking poster again. Like, your generation is so into the fucking throwback shit. You guys are making rock music. You got fucking long hair. You're you're shredding guitar solos. You guys listen to fucking Van Halen and Queen. Like, fuck, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It is great.
So my generation,
you're hearing that come out in music
can do
too.
that. They can still do those things.
Totally.
They just need to embrace the opportunity that is exposure through the internet and understand you're basically giving your shit away at first for free.
Yep.
Hoping people buy in. And you also got to keep doing shit. You guys play shows relentlessly. You mentioned that. You guys are talking about a tour. You mentioned it in chat when Joey Moya was on the other night.
Yeah,
the Daddy Issues tour.
Let's
love that. So it's Uncle Daddy and the issue going on tour. So it's the Daddy Issues tour. I think this is fucking great.
I love those guys, dude. They're so funny.
Dude, if this is this a real tour, or is this just in concept right now?
Well, I mean, it's not like anything on the books. It's something we've joked around with each other
here's the
about
deal.
for a long time.
If we get our project together, we're
do it.
opening for the Daddy Issues tour.
Let's go.
I will, because we gotta fucking work out some kinks anyways before we really try to push some shit. So we don't want to be jumping into no headlining slot when we're not ready. Let's not get it twisted. Podcast or not, I haven't fucking had a band on stage with a real following in the music industry in almost 10 fucking years.
Oh shit!
So I'll be lucky to have 50 people show up to my first show.
You got to get back out and play, man.
I know.
I was going nuts over COVID
just
because we do play so many shows.
I'm just trying to get out and see some shows. Shit, play a show? How about I just see some shows?
Seriously. Well,
I don't even have an album done yet. Like, I haven't written. The songs are done.
You have
everything's ready.
Well, that's good.
But we don't have any merch. We don't have fucking. Oh my god, dude, it's a mess.
Dude,
we're the worst. I preach on you guys not getting your shit together all the time, and my band is the worst. But that's like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick, because it's beautiful and it's also a fucking disaster trying to coordinate with 3 or 4 other guys. The relationship of being in a band is like being married to 3 or 4 other people.
It really is.
Like, if anybody's married or has a serious live-in girlfriend or boyfriend, if you're in a band, it's like having 4 of those people.
Right.
You can never get anything done. It seems like
no, it's like
you still get shit done, but
I mean, you always you end up getting shit done, but the process from point A to point B is like, even if everybody does agree with each other, like most of the time, it's like, God, it still ends up being a deal where you're arguing with another person in the band, both saying the same thing about what you want the end game to be. But you're just like, well, this is how I'm saying it, and this is how I'm saying it, even though they're the exact same thing. It's like, oh my God, let's just fucking get on with the deal. And then that's that's not even the egos. That's not even the egos of like, dude, communication.
I don't like that part. Oh, come on, I think it's great.
Yeah.
And then somebody in the band wants to be the nice guy, like, come on, it's not that bad. And it's like, dude, we're not writing songs that aren't that bad. We're trying to write great songs. We don't want to write songs that are okay.
That's the thing, is like, that's what you learn after you get in the studio a few times. And obviously when you're playing with the same guys for a long period of time. Me, Kyle, and Colin, the 3 original guys in the band, we've been playing together. Well, me and Kyle have been playing together for almost 6 years, and we've been playing with Colin.
Fucking Kyle.
Fucking Kyle. And then Colin, the drummer, we've been playing with him for 4 years. Shit, it must be going on 4 years now. So it's like,
that kind of makes sense though, because that's when about a band starts to really like hone who they are, is at about the 4-year mark. You've been doing it for a while, and even if it's not this name of this band, like maybe you started 2 years ago with a different band, whatever, it's still the same guys. Like, it's just there's something about that, because it sounds like you guys are very much a real band. You rehearse, you write songs together, even in a single format, you're still writing them together, and then you play shows relentlessly. So that's like, there's something so organic about that, and it kind of makes sense that now is when you guys are fucking really starting to like get that buzz going and shit too.
Well, and I think
about 4 to 6 years after you started, you're young enough too, you know.
Well, and when we started, I mean, we had me and Kyle were 19, 20 years old when we started playing music
not
together.
that good yet.
You know? No, neither of us were that good. Kyle, so Kyle and I grew up together. We're from a small town in central Minnesota. And
I would have never been able to tell by your accent. Motherfucker sounds like he's from Canada.
It's like the thickest, I know, seriously.
This is the thickest, man. I was just trying to
I'm
tell
from Minnesota, y'all.
I got some
them rural parts.
I got some Canadian buddies I've been talking to, and I was trying to tell them. I'm like, nah, man. I'm telling you, you got to get to the right spot in Minnesota, and you think they're Canadian.
Oh, dude. We've played. Okay, so the band started. Dude, honestly, like.
Okay, so the band. so the band, we're playing at this bar, eh? All right, so let me tell you, bud.
Oh, it's so bad.
I love it though. I love it, dude.
Oh man, it can't go anywhere.
The
It's
only
like,
reason I'm
Jesus.
noticing it so much is because I've been talking to these Canadian dudes,
for
and it's
sure.
hilarious. All right,
For
go
sure.
on, go on. So how do you? So you started the band? You're from Central Minnesota.
Yeah, we're from Central Minnesota. Now I'm gonna be self-conscious about it the
That's
rest
why
of the podcast.
I started saying Minneapolis when I was on tour because I'd go. They'd be
Yeah.
like, "Where are you from?" I'd be like, "Oh, Minnesota."
Yeah,
And but I didn't say it like that.
yeah, they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
I'd be like, "Oh, Minnesota," and they'd start laughing at me. So I just started learning to say Minneapolis
Yeah, sure.
and avoid
Yeah,
anything with a hard O in it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
You fucking bet, bud. You fucking bet. Me
Fucking
too.
A, right, bud?
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Fucking.
Yeah,
I love it, dude. I love it. It's so great.
Oh man, Letterkenny, that shit's
Yep.
hilarious.
Dude, that's the thing is I started watching
Talk
that
about
show.
Canadians, man.
So do you fulfill Minnesota stereotypes? Do you play hockey? Are you obsessed with hockey?
Dude, I played hockey since I was 4 years old, and I'm obsessed with hockey.
Were you, as we say, born with skates on your feet?
I would say yes.
Because what I mean by that, because a lot of people don't
I was a
understand what
goalie.
it means. A lot of people don't understand what it means to have skates born on your feet. It doesn't mean that you're like born to play hockey. Is what it means is whether you fucking like hockey or not, you better learn how to skate because you live here.
Yeah, exactly. Because what else are you gonna do when it's freaking winter for 5 months of the year?
And this is of course
Get
back
out of your
when
house.
there was nothing to do over the winter.
Yep.
Like it was go play hockey.
You couldn't sit in your house and play video games.
And if you couldn't skate, then you didn't have friends. Like you didn't have to skate well, but you had to be able to skate. You didn't even have to be good at hockey,
right?
But you had to be able to be out there and just like not fall down every 2 seconds,
right?
So that's what we mean when we say you're born with skates on your feet.
Yeah, it's got to be interesting.
Or at least that's what I mean by it.
It's got to be interesting being somebody from like the southern hemisphere where it's warm and like hockey just isn't a thing. It's like, so you're telling me you put blades on your feet and then skate across frozen water for fun? Like,
you know what's weird to me is southern states that have hockey.
Yeah, like Texas and Arizona and stuff.
Florida. Like, why?
And it's crazy, the NHL teams there do surprisingly well for the states that they're in.
But not in attendance.
No, for sure.
Like Tampa Bay, dude. So
which is one of the best teams in the NHL, mind you.
Let me ask you this. So, do you remember about 5, 6, 7 years ago, the city just outside of Duluth, I can't remember what city is, but they
Hermantown?
Maybe, but they put together like a $2 million application fee to apply for an expansion team in the NHL.
What?
Yeah, because now they decided it's going to Seattle, I think.
The Seattle Kraken or whatever.
Yeah, fucking stupid. But regardless, they made a strong case for it because I remember reading the argument for it.
Really?
And there still
would have been the Wild.
Yes, they wanted 2 Minnesota teams. They wanted one for up there because they were basically trying to make the case of 2 different things. Fan wise was one argument, and then attendance was the second argument. So first of all, the Wild are so far south.
Yep.
And who is it? The fucking
Winnipeg Jets.
The Jets are so far north that it leaves this huge part of diehard hockey fans with no professional hockey to go to. So I can't remember where they wanted to put the stadium, but it was going to be in northern Minnesota. I don't remember how far outside of Duluth, but they dude broke it down and he goes, there's 16 hockey teams here in the high school level, not even the college level, that have better average attendance than these 12 NHL teams, and they were all from the southern United States.
Yeah, that's insane.
And I started reading this thing, and I did it, and I was like, if this is true, then they should have a hockey team up there, because this makes perfect sense. Like, dude, basically, there's people in Iowa that are Wild fans.
Yep.
That's how far south the Twin Cities are in this state. Like, it's not, it's a big state.
Wisconsin, too.
Yeah, yep. Because they don't.
And you know
especially western Wisconsin.
Right. And what's crazy, though, and, bringing that up, I never knew that, but I know a cat.
It never went anywhere, by the way. They got
Sure.
denied. They paid $2 million to be told no.
That's brutal.
I think they got the $2
That's
million
one way to get
back.
money.
I think they did get the $2 million
I mean,
back.
that would make sense.
But they still had to pay $2 million
You had to come
be
up
told
with
no,
$2 million.
just to be told no.
Right.
And I think they did get it back, but
It's crazy.
Yeah, that happened.
But yeah, I know a cat from up by the Winnipeg area, and he said it's so hard to get tickets to a Jets game because, I mean, it's Canada. That's what they do is go to NHL games. And season ticket holders are like so far out in advance, you just can't get tickets. So there's people that drive down to Minneapolis or St. Paul to go to a Wild game or see the Jets, but go to a Wild game just to go to an NHL game.
Oh, I see.
Because they can't go to a Jets game, and they're just diehard hockey fans, so they'll drive 6-8 hours just to go to a game.
Dude,
you know,
it's crazy.
Wild.
It's wild.
Literally,
huh? It is pretty insane. It is pretty insane because then if you go up there and you think about it, two things really fucked me up about that one. Number one, there is like no other hockey teams anywhere near Winnipeg. Like they're all on the East Coast and then on the West Coast.
Yeah,
right. I think there's one along the way.
Toronto, I suppose, would be the closest, maybe, or Edmonton.
Well, Toronto's on the East Coast because that's
maybe
by New
is
York.
Edmonton between Winnipeg and Vancouver?
I think you're right. I don't know.
I'm not a big geography guy, so I don't know.
And everyone knows Americans don't care about Canada, but,
you ever go to the state high school tournament, the hockey tournament
here in Minnesota?
Yeah,
I've been a couple times.
Dude,
because it's
crazy.
One of those things that you just inevitably
you have to go.
You inevitably end up at one,
right?
Because living in Minnesota, you end up with a friend on a state champion team,
right? Sure,
like
that's true.
Like it's just like. Did you know?
I went a bunch
and the
of
other thing about Winnipeg, they lost their hockey team once.
Yeah, the Jets.
I think that's the Coyotes. They moved from Winnipeg to.
No, the Atlanta Thrashers. I believe,
and then they moved to Nashville.
Really?
Because Atlanta's not a hockey team anymore.
No, Atlanta is now the Winnipeg Jets. Atlanta. I don't remember where Atlanta moved from, but I'm pretty sure I think Winnipeg got the Jets back when Atlanta pulled the plug.
Gotcha.
Maybe I might be wrong on that.
I know. I think you're right. I think Winnipeg went to Arizona, and then Atlanta tried, and then when
because wasn't there like the
Winnipeg.
Hartford Whalers or some shit too at one point in time in Connecticut? There was the Hartford team, and I don't remember where they went.
And then there was also the Montreal Quebecs.
Well, how ridiculous is this? The fact that the North Stars sold to frickin' Dallas of all places.
Dude,
when we just won a Stanley Cup
behind that? No, we hadn't won one.
Had we not won one?
No, we had never won a Stanley Cup in Minnesota. Even
of course not. Why would we have? We're a Minnesota team.
We had been to two.
Yeah.
We had just I think is what you're talking about is we had just lost to the Penguins.
Yeah, whenever we had Mike Madonna. Yeah. I mean, one of the best American
that was a whole
NHL
conspiracy.
players.
Do you know anything? There's a whole
wasn't
conspiracy.
that all behind closed doors? The owner didn't he like make that sale while they were in the playoffs or in the Stanley Cup, even?
So here's the short version.
I'm talking out of my ass.
So here's the short version. Dude had several sexual assault cases pending against him. The owner. Yep.
Wow.
And he fucking hated Minnesota. He hated the fucking weather, and he wanted to move the team to San Jose. Sure. And they said no. The NHL said no.
Okay.
So is what they allowed him to do was sell his. Oh fuck no! I'm blending two different people. So there was it was an ownership group. Most of the group wanted to move him to San Jose, and the NHL was like, no, fuck that, right? But they wanted to distance themselves from Minnesota because they didn't like the market and him. Right, so is what the NHL allowed them to sell their controlling shares to him, and they got to start a team in San Jose, and then once he became controlling ownership, there was a lot of pressure here. People wanted him to get rid of the team, and instead of him just getting rid of the team, he moved him to Dallas.
I see,
and he moved him to Dallas, and then all that sexual assault shit still followed him down there. So he ended up selling the team right after he got down there. So we got fucked, and it was over. And the reason we let them walk, and the reason it happened is because we wanted to pay like they needed like $30 million or some shit like that to renovate the Excel Center or whatever they were in.
Whatever it was before.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. The Met Center or something like that.
Yeah.
The Metropolitan Event Center or some shit like that. We wouldn't pay for it as a state, the $33 million or whatever it was. And we wanted to push them over to play temporarily in the Target Center. But one of the teams had a Coke sponsor and the other one had a Pepsi sponsor. So logistically, they couldn't work that out.
The advertisement.
And we only wanted to pay $13 million for their stadium. So he said, fuck you. So basically over $30 million, we lost our hockey team. And then we paid like $750 million to get the Wild back. And that's just for the team. That was the expansion fee. Then there was like another $1 billion or $500 million for that fucking Excel Center.
Yeah.
So we basically were too cheap to pay $30 million. We lose the beloved North Stars. And then 7, 8, 9 years later, we get the Wild back. And it cost us well over $1 billion.
Back, right?
Something like that, yeah. It's the whole thing. It's a legitimate, actual conspiracy. And it cost us hundreds of millions of dollars because that's all taxpayer money.
Yeah. That's
bullshit.
That's so stupid. Did Dallas end up winning a cup then?
I think in 1999 they won a Stanley Cup.
Because I know
Jamie's looked that up.
I know Mike Madonna has
Dallas
a
Stanley Cup.
So it's got to be with
1999, I believe it was. And I always get this fucked up because like I think the season started in 99, so they won it in 2000.
Yeah,
the season was in 98. And they won it in 99.
It had to be something like that.
Which is even more heartbreaking because think about the Vikings were 15-1 that year and almost won the Super Bowl. If the Stars would have stayed, we would have had a Stanley Cup and potentially a Super Bowl in 1 year.
The city would have been crazy.
The city would have burned down. You think the George Floyd riots were bad?
Oh man, seriously though.
I wonder if Minneapolis would riot if the Vikings won a Super Bowl.
Oh, shit would get wild. Shit would get wild. I mean, the city almost rioted when the Minneapolis Miracle happened when we against.
I don't know. I just seen a bunch of grown men crying outside. I was there.
I was on my way to a Wild game. Actually,
I wasn't in the stadium during the Minneapolis Miracle. I was tailgating outside of the stadium.
Sure.
And I'm telling you, I was on the street when that shit happened, and I walked out of that tent. And I just seen a lot of grown men crying. I don't think we rioted. It was literally a bunch of grown men.
That's exactly what it was.
Jacked ass dudes in tears, just blubbering. I can't believe it.
So
I don't think we're a riot kind of town.
No, I don't think so.
Not for sports. Not if we win. Maybe if we lose. Maybe if we make it to the Super Bowl and we lose, then you'll see rioting.
Yeah.
But if we win, I think you're just going to see a lot of grown men in tears running around making snow angels in downtown Minneapolis. You're going to see a lot of naked dudes.
Oh man, that's for sure.
a lot of naked crying dudes.
Oh man.
So obviously you love hockey. We talked about that. So when did it transition from hockey to music? When did you get into music to begin with?
Well, classic story. Mom, making me take piano lessons when I was
classic story.
When I was younger. I mean, literally the classic story.
You play piano still?
Half-assed. Okay. I wish I played better, I never kept up with it. It's one of those things like, I always say that I'm thankful that my mom made me take piano lessons, and I wish I had taken it more serious at the time, because I hated lessons.
Also another classic story.
Just literally textbook. And I do now I really do enjoy sitting down and plucking away at the piano because that's all it is now. But
do you write songs on the piano? Like even just chord progressions?
I usually write a chord progression on the piano after I shouldn't say I write the chord progression. I'll play a chord progression on a piano after I have one in my head from guitar.
Gotcha.
Which is seems backwards almost, but
no. Are you doing that to suss out to see if there's any weirdness going on with what you're doing on guitar?
Well, I think part of it is I know music theory, but I obviously I know it from when I took piano lessons when I was, in my early teens and younger. But like the like the notes and all that stuff, like I can hear them on piano once I have them in my head from guitar.
Gotcha.
First. It's like it's pretty much everything I do is by ear.
It starts on guitar,
and it starts guitar or maybe a melody in my head. But I don't play enough piano, and I haven't played piano on any of our songs and stuff. It's usually just tinkering around and like, okay, it would be cool to do a key part on this song. So let's have somebody that's far more talented than me, do a key part on one of our songs.
So when did you start playing guitar?
I started playing guitar when I was around 12, I would say.
Okay.
I come from a big family, and a couple of my older brothers played in like cover bands and stuff around central Minnesota. So I never had guitar lessons other than them showing me, a few chords and stuff. And I picked it up when I was 12 and just kind of played around casually. Because at that point in time, hockey pretty much was my life. Like when I was 12 to 16 years old, I literally played hockey year round. Like that was what I did. But it was around 16 when that shift started happening and rock music like started being a thing that was consuming my life.
What was what happened around 16?
I think it was honestly I think it was partially the freedom you have of when you get your license of, okay, now I can like always listen to the music that I want to listen to and not the person that I'm riding with. So I grew up listening to a lot of country and classic rock, which I love country and classic rock. I'm not bashing country and classic rock, but like, my older brothers were showing me all this badass rock music, and my mom wasn't a fan of rock music. She loves 90s country and like the Eagles and stuff like that, which is where my appreciation of that music comes from. My mom actually has gnarly taste.
She's really big into Brooks and Dunn, Reba McEntire, Shania Twain.
No, she's more of a Clint Black, Alan Jackson, and
to me, that's all the same shit.
I mean, it's the same shit, but less pop.
I'm so ignorant when it comes to the nuances of country music. Yeah. That to me, those are all the same artist. Even the men and
bands
women.
like Black Hawk and Alabama and shit like that. I listened to a lot of that, and my dad listened to like Ozark Mountain Daredevils and Charlie Daniels.
Nice.
But I love Southern rock. Lynyrd Skynyrd is like a band that I listened to a lot when I was really young. For whatever reason. I really loved the song Saturday Night Special. Like,
me too.
When I was like 8, I heard that song. I was like, God, this has got to be one of my favorite songs. I just love that song.
And then Give Me 3 Steps is another one.
Give Me 3 Steps.
That's another great one.
So I learned, like, when I started playing guitar, I learned on like country and Lynyrd Skynyrd, basically. Like chord progressions, slower, bluesier licks, stuff like that. But I really liked rock music, and I got into, Metallica, and Alice in Chains is like my all-time favorite band.
So now you start getting your license, and you mentioned the freedom with that. So did you start exploring music, or is it other people bringing CDs into your car? Like, how is it that you go from that strict shit? Because it's probably not just the radio.
No.
And streaming's not that big yet.
No. I mean, I listen to some rock radio. But honestly, it's my older brothers. Like they showed me they showed me Zeppelin, they showed me Metallica, they showed me Ozzy, they showed me Alice in Chains, Avenged Sevenfold,
Gotcha.
Alter Bridge, Slipknot, like all these bands. I heard about them from my older brothers. I never really had the necessary freedom to listen to those bands whenever I wanted to, until I got my license and stuff. And it was just like, and it's weird because at that time, like, is when you're starting to try and like kind of figure out what's going on in the world. Like, okay, like I'm a dude just doing stuff in the world, like, you know, and at that age, you know, there's so much stuff going on in your brain, and it just seems like music starts to connect with you a little bit more. And just for whatever reason, the way my brain was, rock music just grabbed me by the balls and like took over, you know. Slash and Miles Kennedy and like Alter Bridge, those bands when I was around that 16, 17 age, like I just wanted to be a fucking rock star, dude. Slash was like my epitome of a rock star, you know, like the badass hat, gnarly guitar, just like not metal, but really finesse, good guitar playing that's a little greasy, a little bit sloppy, but his solos are just, you know, you can tell they come from like a very musical place.
Oh yeah.
So that stuff butter. Just like literally changed my life. And you know, I finally, me and one of my good buddies from high school went to Moondance Jam up in Walker, talked my parents into letting me go. So my mom's whole thing was like, basically once you turn 18, you know, you can do whatever you want. But like she wasn't a big fan of
sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Us going to festivals and stuff like that, AKA because of what happens at festivals.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what every 18-year-old boy, that's all he's thinking about.
Wait for, you know.
Just get me high.
You're watching documentaries on that stuff, like, this is what my life's going to be in 10 years. I'm going to be that guy. Like, I can't wait. But yeah, I finally, you know, I talked my mom into letting me go to Moondance, and I was like, we're just going for the day. I got to see Slash because he was with Miles Kennedy headlining that year, and we went, and like we were front and center and just standing on stage right over us, and Miles Kennedy comes out and is pointing at the crowd, and I was like, all right, this is what it's all about. Like, I got through my senior year of high school. I took hockey really seriously through high school, like, but there was like almost a weight lifted off my shoulders as soon as the last hockey practice ever was over. We had a good hockey team my senior year, and we made a push for the playoffs, and you know, we had a real close game, lost out, and I was pissed off about that, and I was just
hold on, I have to pause you because I'm like captivated by this. I don't think anybody else in the world who's listening, because we do have a lot of global listeners,
for sure,
they don't understand how serious high school hockey is here.
Oh, dude, like, it's so serious.
Let me just, you probably know this because it's, man, the people you played with probably. Yeah. You probably literally played with kids who are now in the NHL. Like at least one. I guarantee you played
for sure
with one and probably against a dozen.
Yeah.
Between all of the high school hockey you played.
Oh,
here's what people don't understand. Minnesota has literally somehow impacted or been in the path of more NHL players than anywhere in the world. So like Sidney Crosby came here and played high school hockey at fucking Shattuck St. Mary.
Yeah, Shattuck St. Mary.
Shattuck St. Mary. So
Zach Parise.
Yeah, with Zach Parise. It's insane. It's insane how many hockey players come through here that end up in the NHL. So, and it's at a high school level even. We're not even talking at college. I mean, shit,
no, this is high school.
We just had 3 teams in the Frozen Four.
Yeah, that's coming up this weekend. Like, 3 of the 4 teams in the college hockey finals are Minnesota college teams.
I missed it. That's why I said
Frozen Four is it's coming up this weekend.
Yeah, because I thought, okay, good. I
Mankato, Duluth, and is it St. Cloud State? I'm pretty sure it's those 3.
Yeah, because the Ghosts got beat.
St. Cloud beat the Gophers. I'm pretty sure to go to.
So
regardless,
it's Minnesota State. It's Minnesota State.
Yeah,
MN Duluth.
Yep, and St. Cloud State that are in it.
That's fucking great.
Yeah,
3 out of the 4 teams. It's. And that's college, but we're talking high school. Yeah. Like high school hockey is intense in this state.
It's
like Texas football.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like high school football in Texas.
When you go to the state hockey tournament, it's not even the championship game. It's like Thursday night AA game, And the XL Energy Center is packed. Like, there's a line down the block, down the street for standing room only tickets for a high school hockey game. Like, we're talking 22,000 people for a high school hockey game.
Exactly. And to put it in context, like the state championship for football here maybe gets 10,000.
It's just crazy.
And they put it in this fucking, and they also put it in the fucking US Bank Stadium. So it's like, it seems empty. But man, you're not exaggerating. It's sold out for the Excel Center, and that's not even the actual true
it's like
top of the top championship.
If you're in high school and you're into hockey, it's like the event of the year. Like when I was in high school, we would get, a bunch of us would get a hotel room down in St. Paul for the state hockey tournament, and we'd party and go to the freaking state hockey tournament. Like, that's what you did. I mean, not that we ever drank or had fun in high school or anything like that.
We cannot confirm or deny that any laws were or were not broken.
We cannot.
We can't confirm or deny whether they were or were not broken.
But that's, so like going back to, where we kind of left off, like, I'd take another beer. Like, that's just the thing with, if you grow up playing hockey in Minnesota, you dream of playing the state hockey tournament. Like, that's literally part of the deal. So, because there's scouts from all over the world at these games.
And it starts off at 8 years old. I mean, like Mighty Ducks was filmed here.
Right.
I think the first and the third one. I was in the third one, by the way. Like, I didn't have a speaking part or anything. I almost got a speaking
big Mighty Ducks guy.
I almost got a speaking part. I was like what do you call it? A featured extra. So I was moved into the background of like every shot, and I'm like always a kid doing shit, you know? And it's hilarious because I thought I was legitimately gonna be all over that movie. And then when it finally came out, I'm in 3 scenes for a total of 1 second. It's beautiful.
Hey, Mom, it's my big break.
It's so funny.
I'm a TV star now.
Because, my mom had me out on fucking movie auditions all the time and shit. And she found that thing.
Hey, I'd be stoked if I was on Mighty Ducks for 1 second.
I guess is what I'm getting at is like, whether you even love hockey or not, even when you're 8 years old, like that is the closest path to anything that anyone cares about. And you can start at 8. And it's weird because there's 12, 13-year-old kids that there's a buzz about them in the state.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
so you just naturally want to do this. And so you work what seems like you build your entire life to get to this high school hockey tournament.
Yeah.
You finally get there. You end your last practice and you make this big push.
Yep.
And then instead of feeling like, all right, fuck, man, we didn't make it. Where's my next fucking, am I going to college? Nope. You're like, I'm done.
Yep.
And you feel relief.
Yeah, because I had opportunities to go and play like juniors hockey at a few different programs. But it's, what you gotta realize,
for people that don't know, what is juniors? Explain that to people.
Juniors is basically like a step between high school and college hockey. And depending on the tier you're in, so there's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 juniors levels, just like there's D1, D2, D3 college levels. So basically a tier 3 juniors team is generally like a farm team for a tier 1 juniors team.
Gotcha.
And a tier 1 juniors team is basically a farm league for a D1 college. So a lot of times, like D1 guys that commit out of high school, the college will ask or basically make them go and play a year or two of juniors at the tier 1 level, just to kind of, because the level of intensity from college or from high school to college is freaking, it's a step, dude. Like it's intense. Like even juniors is intense because now you're playing not just state, you're playing national, you're playing worldwide. Even in juniors, you're playing with guys from like Finland and Sweden and Germany that come over from Europe to play juniors hockey in Minnesota.
This is what we were talking about.
In Minnesota, like that's the thing.
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier.
Exactly.
That kind of shit.
And college too. I mean, so many of the Minnesota college teams have people from all over the world playing on them. So yeah, that's like, so anyways, from high school, I had a couple opportunities to go and play juniors. But junior, you have to play juniors, even though you like get recruited by a juniors team. You still have to pay to play on the team.
What?
Yeah,
you pay to play juniors.
You still have to pay. Like, you know, there's a fee.
Is that how like the fucking Quebec major juniors works too?
No, I'm sure there's enough
I thought they got paid.
They at that level.
They're still kids.
Okay,
they're still kids, but they're getting paid.
Yeah. So to go back to like the tiers, so I should make this point was I was getting offers from tier 3 juniors teams, the low level. And there was a couple tier 2 teams that, you know, that had talked to me, but I think if you play tier 1, you don't get paid, but you don't pay. You just play. But you're playing.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're playing under the, like, when you're playing tier 1, like, you're playing to play. You're playing to try and get on a college team. Like, that's why you're at tier 1. So like for me, it would have been play tier 3, hope that I get picked up by a tier 1 team after 1 year of playing. And then, you know, if you get to tier 1, then it's like, hopefully you just keep kicking ass and you get picked up by a D1 team. And I was a pretty solid goalie. I think I was actually top 10 in the state, save percentage wise my senior year. But for me, I just like that last game, and having put so much time into hockey over the course of my life, and then also with what all of a sudden happened with music creeping more prevalent into my life, I was just like, man, you know, I want to do something else.
So did you notice a talent in yourself? Like, did you you think you're pretty good at guitar, or people telling you you're pretty good at guitar? Where'd that seed get planted where not only do you like music more and more as the prospect of playing hockey gets less and less? I see that seems obvious as you're describing it, but I'm wondering if there's like an epiphany, because for a lot of guys, they got injured, you know, and it was like, okay, this is done. What am I going to do with my life?
Right.
For some guys like me, like I quit growing at the same rate that the other dudes did.
Sure.
And it was like, okay, I could potentially still do this, but I'm going to have to switch positions. I'm going to have to go straight defense. I'm going to be off the ball. Right, because I was running back, like quarterback, wide receiver. I was very like in part of the game my whole life leading up to high school, and then at that point it was like, yeah, I could still play running back, but like I listen to NFL players talk about how that position is like, it just destroys your body, and I'm already undersized compared to high school players.
Right.
And it's funny now because I went back to high school. High school, and talked to some of those coaches about potentially getting on that coaching staff.
Sure.
And I was watching the kids, and I was like, man, these kids ain't as big as they were when we were here. Like the football program was way more serious when I was there. Sure. It's not even close. But I knew already
that you wanted to play music.
It was either going to be football or music, and I just knew that the odds and the work ethic I would have to put in, plus the risk factor of serious injury.
Yep.
And it was like, it seemed like the path of least resistance. And is what pisses me off is I wish I would have gotten a little bit more direction from my parents, because I shouldn't have made that choice. I should have kept doing both.
Right.
Because man, I could have fucking.
You can do both.
Looking back now, especially after realizing how big I am.
Yep.
Like, I'm not a small guy. I'm still scrawny, but that can be easily fixed if I would put the work in.
Right.
I'm still 6 feet tall. There's a lot of NFL players shorter than me, and I could have played safety.
Yeah.
You know, not in the NFL probably, but
shit,
I could have got to college.
I'd be the backup punter on an NFL team, man. You're getting paid good money to do nothing.
Yeah, for sure. But my point is, I could have at least gotten to college and gotten a better education and be way more well versed in a lot of the things that I want to do and wish I knew now.
Right.
So I didn't have to make that choice, but for some guys it's an injury. So I'm wondering where that seed got planted for you as your love for music is growing, and as let's say your exhaustion for hockey is building.
Yep.
What was it like? Were you being encouraged were you already good at guitar? Because by this point, you said you'd been playing guitar for 6 years, basically.
Yeah.
Starting from 12 years old.
Yep. So like I'm kind of like I understand. So like even like the projection of a hockey player or a musician, like I understand that it's a heavy one, but I've always been kind of a naive person in a sense where I don't really think about. I've never thought about how the odds of you being an NHL player or a famous musician. I've never thought about how great though, or like how small those odds are. I've just. Well, like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to fucking, go for it.
Yeah, it wasn't even whether I'd be a famous musician. It was just like there's a very finite amount of NFL jobs or even college spots, And
not famous, I mean, where you can make a living
I just want to
music.
pay my bills. Yeah,
same.
Exactly.
That's my whole thing.
And in this town, depending on how you want to live your life, you only really need to make anywhere between 40 grand and 100 grand a year to do it.
Which is not...
It's really not that much.
It's not impossible.
It's really not that much.
But anyways, like that transition happened in high school when I started playing more guitar and singing a lot more. My brother, one of my older brothers hosted an open mic night every Thursday night at one of the local bars. So when I was a senior in high school, every Thursday night I'd go to the bars, and play a handful of acoustic tunes. And like, I feel like for me, that was a really good place to start because you build your confidence level really fast because it's just you and a guitar.
Sure.
And you either suck or you don't, basically like, and
it's an open mic night. So no one's expectations are super high.
No, exactly. And, I started like playing like country tunes that I knew at open mic. And I would get positive reactions and stuff from people about those, but it wasn't until I started playing rock songs at open mics like Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, some early 2000s acoustic covers, rock tunes, where I started to get like good reactions from people like, dude, you got a pretty gnarly voice. And that's when I really found my voice and like found that singing rock music fit me and my personality better than, country music, which is what I basically started playing guitar and singing
for sure
was country music. Because for one, it's easier.
Yeah.
And, I shouldn't say easier, but
most of the rhythm guitar is easier
to play just basic chords
rock,
and sing. It's
yeah.
Which is a lot of rock tunes too.
Some of them fucking country, like Brad Paisley, that motherfucker can shred.
The Eddie Van Halen on Cornbread.
Dude, seriously, that motherfucker can shred.
Pretty sure that was a Guitar World quote.
That's a great quote.
Yeah, it is.
He's Eddie Van Halen on cornbread. I love it. I fucking love it.
Dude, he's great. That video of him just freaking tearing up and down the fretboard in the 90s when he's like in his early 20s. It's somewhere in Nashville. Yeah. It's a really old video.
He just redid it.
It's wild.
He just, because somebody found it and it went viral, so somebody brought it up to him and he just did another one. So you can actually like hear it and see it's in good quality.
And he probably played it note for note too.
It's definitely arguably the closest I've seen anybody else ever do it other than.
Is wild.
But Eddie doesn't even play it the same way live, so it's hard to.
I mean, not that great guitar players.
Nobody ever
know
plays
their solos,
right,
but I mean, you gotta have a little.
There's certain ones though. If you're gonna do it, there's certain ones though. No, don't. Like,
for sure.
Don't. You either rewrite an Eddie solo, like if you're covering that song, don't even pretend, or you fucking nail it note for note. David Gilmour's another one.
Yeah,
but I don't want to get too far off track because I think we're doing a good job of like just keeping this going because I want to get this so people know who you are because they've never met you before.
For sure.
I'm just getting to know you too.
Right.
And I don't need to fucking keep telling my stories. You fucking people know my shit. I've done 75 of these fucking things. I've told enough of my stories. Enough's enough.
Yeah.
But so
It was just open mics.
Yeah, you're doing the open
playing
mics.
rock tunes at open mics.
So when did you decide to start a band? When did that happen after the open mics? How long did you do the open mics for?
Well, I did them my whole senior year, and then I went to college. I went to NDSU in Fargo for one semester, and quickly realized that I didn't fit into the university scheme, and had no interest in doing that. And was like, well, I have this music thing that I want to pursue. I don't even know how I came to college in the first place. Anyways, so I quickly navigated out of that and transitioned my focus into music. And it was that year, that spring after, it would have been the very next spring after I graduated high school in 2014, where I started trying to put a band together. And the band ended up being with high school guys from where I grew up, and
also hockey players, probably.
Oh yes, the bass player Kyle. Me and him grew up playing hockey together. one of my really good friends. Kyle's the man.
Nailed it.
Fun fact about Kyle.
I love fun facts. It's my favorite part.
Yeah, fun facts. Kyle. Well, for one, Kyle's a freaking goofball. As all bass players are.
Keep talking.
And Kyle didn't play bass at all. Never touched a bass until his first band practice with us.
That makes sense.
Now he's a gnarly bass player. It's freaking awesome. Because he's one of those guys, like, once you're like, hey, Kyle, you should try playing bass. And he was like, all right. And he just jumped in, both feet, fucking went and bought a $2,000 amp rig, really nice freaking guitar, and was like, all right, I'm the bass player in a band. Just learned it really well, learned how to use it, learned how to dial in his tone, learned what a good bass player does. And it's just like, all right,
awesome.
Well, that couldn't have been easier.
That's the shit.
Like, I don't have to search for a bass player.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But that
anyways,
wasn't the issue. It was your first band.
That was the first form of the issue. We were playing under the issue name, but we weren't establishing ourselves as an original band. We started out as a cover band.
The name started from day one.
Yes.
Okay.
But we burned through. I shouldn't say burned through. That sounds terrible. We went through a few drummers before Colin was in the band. And before we really started taking the original band seriously and writing music, because the first 2 years of us playing, me, Kyle, and the original guitar player, Avery, our first couple years playing together, we basically just played cover tunes. And that's how we cut our chops and learned how to be performers, was playing cover gigs around central Minnesota and no-name bars in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
That's interesting, because I've always said fucking cover bands are where talented musicians go to die.
Yep. Or
that's where talented musicians in their careers go to die. I used to say something like that because I would just know so many guys that once they join their first cover band, it's usually after one of their very good original bands break up, and the original music world will never see that musician again.
Yep.
Because the money is so seductive over there, and it's so easy. I wish we would do it in reverse. I wish guys would start off cutting their teeth as cover bands and paying your dues that way, learning how to be a good performer, learning how to
learning the so
importance
much
of
that
good
way.
Gear.
Yeah.
There's too many bands that start off in their first show, they're playing with practice amps. It's ugh. It's you guys, you need real amps. You can get away with some 50 watt high end amps, like the 5153 and the real 5150 combo. Those still can rip big enough, but very few other amps can. And if you're depending on the PA to make you loud, that's not going to sound the same as me being able to fill that room with just my amp.
Right.
And so that's where all that real robust tone is coming from. And then all the PA is doing is just slightly amplifying it to fill it out across the venue.
Yep.
Supplementing that
exactly
sound. When your bass rig can really rock the fucking stage and vibrate the room.
Oh yeah.
And then you supplement that with the subs. You start, and then the band is well rehearsed and they're tight.
Oh, it's a totally different thing.
experience.
It's totally different. It's not even close to the same.
And I think it's very wise that you guys, whether it was intentional or not, I think it's very, very good that you cut your teeth and did that, because sometimes it'll take a band 2 years to figure out why their band isn't catching on and people are coming out to shows. And it's hard for people to go, your fucking gear sucks, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
Nobody's going to say that
whatever
to you.
But as a cover band, motherfuckers will be lethal with you.
Oh,
They'll be
yeah.
like, you guys sound like shit.
Well, and the
Play
thing is,
Freebird.
Right, exactly. And they don't care for it. Like when you're doing the cover band thing, the audience doesn't care. They just want to hear songs that they know, and they want to hear them sound good.
And it's good for you, too, because when people do criticize you, they're never criticizing your music yet.
Right.
Then you can just focus like, oh, these are things we can fix.
Yeah.
You're not even worried about the fucking pitfalls and ego-driven shit that comes with songwriting.
Right.
Yet. It's beautiful.
And we were hard-nosed young punks, in our 18 to, or yeah, I mean, Avery, the original guitar player, he was like 16 or 17 when we started playing bar gigs. So, and I was 19, so that was like the age gap that we were in, playing bars around central Minnesota, and we were pretty hard nosed, like, because everybody plays country music, and crowds love that shit, and we were like, fuck that, we're not gonna play country music, we're gonna play, the rock tunes that we want to play, and for us, like, we just learned like the rock tunes we wanted to play. We learned them really well, and we played them live really well, and people loved it. We had people coming up just like, dude, I never hear anybody play this song, and you guys just nailed it. And we're like, yeah, nobody plays this music. That's why we're doing it.
That's so smart. You're not even just filling a niche. You're filling a complete vacuum. There's no one there. That's brilliant. So you do this for a while, you burn through a few drummers, then you end up on the dude you got now, and then you guys decide to go original. Is that when you moved to the cities as well?
That's when all that stuff kind of started coming together. We had made the decision, and part of the departure with our last drummer before Colin was we were ready to make the transition to original band. Not that we were going to quit playing cover shows, because cover shows was paying for the original material that we were preparing to record.
That makes sense.
But it was that the priority was no longer going to be a cover band. The cover band was going to supplement the original band whenever it needed to, is the transition we were making at that time. And moving to the cities, and he was an older guy.
Old school. This is literally like the oldest way you would start a band. I swear to God.
Yeah.
So like you didn't even change your name.
No,
this is what I'm saying. Like this is how my dad's generation tried to tell me you have to start a band. And it was like by the time I started a band at 16 to 19, right?
Yeah.
Like it was like, no. You play a cover during your set.
Yep.
But you do not, like, you either are a cover band or you're an original band. You don't do that cover band shit and then try to work in your originals.
Right.
They were two distinct different markets. But it makes sense coming from a smaller town doing it that way. And then, so you guys come to the city, you decide, how long did the covers last in the city before you realized that doesn't work if we're going to be an original band?
We played cover shows like here and there at a few places. But we never really played. We've never really played. I don't think we've ever really played cover gigs in the cities, like, ever.
So you don't mesh them either. So you didn't start playing covers?
We started playing originals at our cover shows, which is where so like I know cover bands get a lot of flack, and we looked at the cover band, or at least I personally did. I looked at the cover band the same way I look at like YouTube or social media. It's another outlet to promote our original music, and that's what we did with the cover band, and on occasion still do. because we can book a big ass cover show in the middle of central Minnesota. Like our hometown street dance, the last time we played it, there was over 3,500 people in this tiny town.
That's awesome.
At the show.
That's fucking amazing.
And it's like, so, like, holy shit, and we split the night. We played like half covers, half original music. And like our hometown, like if there's a bar in our hometown that has a nice in-house PA and a nice stage set up. The bar owner's fucking badass. The Next Door Bar in Sauk Center, shout out to those guys. Anytime we've played there, the place is just freaking slam packed, and they want to hear our original music because what's weird, growing up in a small town, we were forced to be a cover band because that's all that was accessible to us if we wanted to start playing music. If we were going to do original music, it was at home in the basement, or we'd throw in the occasional original at the cover show. And as we were starting to throw original shows in at the cover shows, like people were really digging them, and they're like, you guys' original music is kick ass, we want to hear more. And we're like, okay, maybe this is actually something that's obtainable for us as a band. So we use the cover band as a way to promote our original music because we could book cover shows at that time, and we couldn't book original shows. So we were like, all right, fuck it. If we got to play 3 hours of cover music and to be able to play our 10 original songs, then that's what we're going to do. And that's what we did. And because we just wanted to play, and we didn't care about certain logistics as, regarding like what people were going to think of us, from the musical realm. Like, because I know moving down here, coming from central Minnesota and coming down here, like, that was one thing that I was concerned about, was what my reputation as a musician was going to be, like whether or not people from the local scene down here were going to accept me as a musician and front runner in an original band, having come from that place, you know what I mean? Because I know the original scene, like, I feel like down here, being an outsider coming in, I feel like you were either a cover band, like, and you just did like the cover music, or you were an original band, and the original bands generally didn't like the dudes playing in the cover bands, or at least that's what I thought when I was moving down here.
Yeah.
So I was genuinely nervous about that. And then we just always kind of was just like, what, screw it. That's what we get, that's where we came from. That's what we did. That was how we got, as good or that's how we got so tight live, as a band, is we played freaking 4-hour shows every other weekend, for 2 years straight, while we were writing original music based off of, the music that we enjoyed listening to and enjoyed playing, covers and stuff. That's where we really found our sound, I feel like, because we played a lot of 90s rock and early 2000 rock tunes and some classic rock songs. And, that's basically what we played for covers, was like classic rock and a lot of 90s and a lot of early 2000s rock.
Just skip that 80s glam metal, huh? No fucking love.
I'm not an 80s guy.
No fucking love.
I like Motley Crue and I like a couple bands from the 80s, but I'm a fucking
respect.
I'm a rock and roll or a grunge guy.
No fucking respect.
Grunge,
you get that
which is a
grunge
terrible
bullshit out of here.
I don't even like the word grunge.
It's such a shitty genre of music.
I love Alice in Chains, though. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm just not a big fan of heroin-inspired music. I found out most of the grunge is. They were all on heroin, and that's why I don't dig a lot of it. But there's songs that stick out. There's songs that stick out.
And I really like Soundgarden. I mean, Chris Cornell, just an amazing vocalist.
What I will say is the musicianship in all of those bands, other than Kurt Cobain, was through the roof.
Right.
Like, every guy in Soundgarden's the shit.
Oh, yeah.
Pearl Jam, the shit. Alice in Chains, the shit.
Oh, man. Jerry Cantrell is one of my idols. Dude,
that drummer is the shit too, dude. The drummer from Alice in Chains. Everybody sleeps on him. He's great. But I want to play a song of yours so people can kind of get a vibe. Now that we've kind of told your story on how you got up to this point, how you got to the fucking I'm not fucking high.
That's funny.
Well, okay, I can't confirm or
Yeah,
deny
yeah,
that.
let's do it.
Shout out to Greg. Thanks for dropping in chat, buddy. Should we play the song or should we play the video?
For which one?
I don't know. Hold on. Let's find out what's what. Okay, there's that one. That's a track.
Yeah, let's do the video for what you need.
So that's okay.
That's the song.
Okay, and then that's the same one. That's not you. It didn't get loaded up right. You gave me another song.
Yeah, well, you had pulled 2 videos up.
Yeah, but hold on. Let me reload this song because now that I can actually identify that, let's fix this. So it's the second one. And what's the second one called? Because I downloaded them both. I have it. I just got to find it. What did you send me?
I'm trying to remember what I sent you. Did I send you What You Need and Open Your Eyes?
Yes, that's it.
So, yeah, play Open Your Eyes and we'll do the video for What You Need. I'm actually going to use the bathroom quick.
Perfect. If you're going to go use the bathroom, you know what then? I'm going to play the video.
Perfect.
As soon as I'm done loading this up. Hold on.
Perfect.
What's up, guys? Throw your questions in chat so when he gets back, we can. What the fuck? Where is this thing? This doesn't make any sense. It should be right here. This is why we load these up in advance. How do I not have this? Oh, it's right in front of my eyes. It says, the song is called Open Your Eyes, and I can't find it. And it was right in front of me. I needed to open my eyes. That's so funny. All right, I'm going to play this video for you guys. We'll be right back. No, it was banger, dude. Good tune.
Yeah, I like that tune.
I'm just really happy to see more bands, actual bands, coming out of the town. And it's just cooler to see the young dudes doing just the straight up rock and metal thing. Like,
yeah, man, it's great.
We just ditched the gimmicks, and it's just like, just be good and write good songs.
Yeah,
just be you, do you, write good songs, be good. It's not easy to do, but it's such a simple formula. That was such a fucking irritating thing when I came up. I came up in different like genre eras where you had to sound away in order to make it.
Right.
Like that's again one of the best things that happened to music was when the internet destroyed everything, where you had to buy a CD and you had to do that. There was too many gatekeepers that could decide you weren't ready. And it's like now the consumer decides if you're ready, if they fucking like your shit or not. So you're free to make whatever kind of music you want. And nobody is telling you guys you have to make music that is 30, 40, 50 years old. If you go like Greta Van Fleet, that shit was already done in the 70s, bro. Like, that's 50-year-old music they brought back to life. Look at what Stormbreaker's doing. That's in the 80s. That's 40-year-old music they're bringing back to life. Look what you're doing.
You ever listen to the band Dirty Honey?
No.
Oh, dude.
Should I? Am I sleeping?
Dude, you're sleeping.
I gotta get woke.
They're a new LA band, but they're like the good parts of Aerosmith influenced. Like the dirty, like Last Child, like dirty fucking rock and roll riffs, man, and the singer can sing his balls off. They're a new band that I've been listening to a bunch. If I wasn't 100% certain I'd get
flagged, I'd play them, but
yeah.
YouTube's finicky about that shit. Yeah, I win it when you guys are on. Like, I'll get flagged for that, but I'll be able to win because you're on.
Sure.
Because you gave me permission to play it. Like, if I have to prove it, I can send them a fucking copy of the email you sent me. Like, here's the links he sent me to play.
Exactly.
But they're always cool about it. But I got flagged once, even though I had permission.
Yep.
For playing Jeremy's music from Wither the Tide. I'm actually wearing the shirt right now.
Oh, yeah. Badass.
I played him on someone else's podcast, even though I had permission.
Sure.
And YouTube flagged me for it, so I disputed it. Like, no, I have permission from the copyright owner.
Yep.
They denied it. And then I have the right to appeal it, but if I lose the appeal, I end up with an actual strike against my channel.
That's not what you want.
And I was like, it's not worth the risk.
Right.
Even though I have the right, I don't know how that process works, and it's not worth it.
It's a goofy process. I actually just I just found this out about ourselves and releasing music through DistroKid. When we posted that same music video,
you got flagged for it, didn't
we?
You?
We got flagged for it
for your own music.
Yeah, from DistroKid, and I looked into it or whatever, and I disputed it, emailed them, and they're just like, yeah, you know, you end up with the money anyways, because either if DistroKid, like in our example, if DistroKid flagged us for it, they're still collecting the money for it and then paying us for it. So whether we dispute it or not, we're still getting the money for it, I guess. So
yeah,
that's
cool.
I mean, yeah.
In that case, it's cool because it's yours. You got
because it's yours. But yeah,
that's another reason I didn't dispute it, because that. Like, yes, I guess my channel will eventually monetize, and they do monetize all your videos. So if somebody happens to go back deep into my library and watch that one episode, whatever monetization I get from that will technically go to Jeremy. Like, okay, cool. Like, here's your $6 after a year that I owe you. Because it's just too old of an episode to worry about. I just learned, and I won't be doing that kind of shit going forward.
Sure.
But I want to know, and I want YouTube to start doing something where I can pre-upload my written permission. Like, I'm gonna play these. I have permission. Here's my proof. Don't even flag me in the first place.
Yeah.
Because once I'm monetized, as soon as you get hit with the disputes, that video is demonetized until you win it back.
Right.
So if you're already monetized, let's say you get 15,000 views your first day, but it's under dispute, you don't get paid for any of those.
Right.
And once you win your dispute, you don't get paid in
you don't get back paid. You get paid.
It just starts being monetized. Yeah. So I want to be able to, because otherwise I'm going to have to stop I'm gonna have to. I wouldn't say stop, but I'm gonna have to figure out a way to continue to play your guys' material without it literally costing me money. You know what I mean? Because that becomes insane. Because it, like, think about it. This is how I'm thinking about it. The videos usually do really well for about 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then they start to fall off because people finally have gotten to watch the whole episode that they really wanted to, and then they're done with it.
So it's that first 2-week period that's most
and
essential
most of
for
them
you.
are in the first 24 to 48 hours, where the dispute can take up to 30 days.
Yeah, and you're losing all your monetization in those first. Yeah.
So even though I win it,
you're still I
could have 10,000 subscribers and I still haven't made any money because every video I do, I'm getting disputed. So I'm not complaining or bitching, but I do see a problem that could happen in the future. And I don't want it to start hurting or de-incentivizing my guests to come on, because one of the biggest, I mean, I would love to think that I'm so cool you guys just want to hang out with me. But no, come on. You get most of you guys come on because we can have a cool hangout and you can plug your shit.
Right. And it sucks, you know, it honestly, it kind of sucks because I feel like there's really no way around it with the way they set up the algorithm. Like, obviously because YouTube is so big, they don't have just human beings. Like, you can email quick and they're just like, oh yeah, my bad. You know, it's a fucking algorithm, and the algorithm, the computer, is continually getting smarter and smarter and figuring out, you know, how to get you to watch, you know, the most amount of videos possible. So it's just like, I feel like between it being an algorithm base and like just kind of the legacy artists pushing so hard for it to be that way, because they don't want to miss out on any coin, even though they might have plenty themselves, which, like, I hope one day, you know, I might be in that position. But right now, I'm just happy to get my music in front of anybody possible. Mm-hmm. So if that means coming on your podcast and you're willing to play a video, that's great. I don't give a shit if we get paid for it or not. I'm just trying to find, you know, more people.
Well,
and everybody,
and
I
that's
feel
what
like,
it really is, because most people understand, especially in our generations, that the actual streaming and pays and shit like that, you don't get paid shit for that.
No, it's so minimal.
Right. Is where you actually are going to make your money is live shows and merch.
Yeah.
So you want to basically give your music away on Spotify and iTunes and playing it on a silly podcast like this, so you can get people to come to your shows when you're in town, and they'll buy a t-shirt and they'll buy the special CD and they'll do that, or maybe they'll join your Patreon. Right. You guys got to get a Patreon going.
Yeah,
you have to.
That's one thing that I've been telling myself for a long time, and I just have not freaking got it done. But that's
even
a must.
Think about it. It's as simple as this. Even 30 people at $10 a month is $300. That pays your rehearsal space rent.
Exactly.
Now,
I mean, that's a
no
good
longer
chunk of,
costs you money to be in a band, because that's the big thing. You either rehearse at somebody's house or you get a rehearsal space.
Yeah,
I hate rehearsing at somebody's house.
And we've done both.
What do you prefer?
I
hate rehearsing at people's houses.
I partially like it because it's my house. You
don't have to go anywhere.
I can't even say that though, because it's not always at my house. But yeah, whatever.
That's awesome.
We rehearse at the studio quite a bit, and I prefer to go there because I feel like just going in the studio in general puts you in a more creative mindset.
Yeah, for me, it's getting way let's take a break, and then somebody pops on the TV or
that's
something.
The problem from doing it at home is there's too many accessible distractions.
That's what it is for me too.
It's just
exactly,
and I'm easily distracted.
You put me in a box. You put me in a box like a rehearsal space where we have a fridge with some fucking soda, water, and beer.
Yep.
But we used
to grind in a nasty, grimy little practice.
That's where the best music is written. It's where the best music is written.
We sweat our ass off in the middle of the summer, and we wrote some good tunes then. That was fun. That was really fun. That's when I first moved down here.
It's almost a red flag when I went to go audition for bands.
Yep.
And I'm like, so where do you guys rehearse? And they're like, oh, at my bass player's house. It's almost a red flag, because here's
just because it's the bass player's house.
Mostly. But
no, I'm just kidding.
But it's just there's so many red flags that come with it. Like, okay, so now immediately I can't show up and rehearse whenever I want, 24 hours a day. That's immediately a no-go.
That's for sure.
Number two, I'm never 100% sure about the security, no matter how much I trust this person. Number three, fire.
Yep.
Like the house could burn down. These are all just normal things where when you get into a rehearsal space, it's the code is different, right? The security's different. Everything about it is different.
Depends on the rehearsal space.
A real rehearsal space. Yeah, because I know what you're talking about, especially in this town. But like I honestly, man, once I had been around to all of them, it's it's city sound or bust. I'm either renting from Chris or nobody.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I still owe Chris $200.
Well, don't say that on here, Chris. Don't listen. Earmuffs.
I think he remembers.
Yeah, he's probably texting you.
That was probably him. Hey, fuck boy, where's my money?
Give me my $200.
No, he's a nice guy, man. He's always been cool as fuck about it. Like I see him and I go, I still remember. Cool. I still remember. I might have actually finally paid him, but I can't remember now.
Yeah,
I'll have to ask him, and he'll be honest. He'll be like, "No, you paid me," or he'll be like, "Yes, you still owe me."
Well, fortunately, it's not any more than that. That's not enough to get too bent out of shape about.
I know, and I told him is what's probably going to end up happening is if I still owe it to you and I come back to you for a space, I'll just pay it to you then. Honestly, I'll just give it to you then plus whatever I owe you for the new space. Like, it's so those small amounts are just hard to like.
Yeah, you forget.
Yeah, exactly. Anything under $500,
get a reminder text here and there, and that's all it is.
I can't tell you.
Give me my fucking money, man.
I can't tell you how many people owe me $100, $200. There's been a couple times in the past where I'm like, I put out a Facebook post back in the day. I'm like, if any of you owe me fucking money, I could really use it right now because I had something I needed to buy. Like, and I was like, I know I got about $3-4 grand floating out there between all you motherfuckers.
That's funny. And within the band, we're usually paying each other back, in the form of alcohol.
Yep.
Because we all like to drink, and It's like, especially if it's like $20 or $50, it's like, oh, dude, I'll pick you up a case of beer for the next round or whatever. And we're all just like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Before I forget, when is your next show? When are you guys playing next?
Our next show is on the 30th of April. We're playing with Via out in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. At Tipsy Tavern, I believe is the name of the place.
Thinking about coming to that show.
I'm trying to remember all this off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure 95%.
You got a website, right?
It's on the website. It's on our bands in town.
Where do they go to find the info?
www.theissuemn.com. I mean, our Facebook.
I'm pretty sure the link's in
Instagram.
the description.
Yeah.
If I did my job half-assed right.
Yeah. So you can find our stuff on our website.
Just go to their website.
Facebook, obviously, too. But website would be sweet.
That's where
and
you
then
really want to go.
On the May 15th, about a month from now, we're playing with Stormbreaker and Revenant Soul in town at Route 47.
I think I'm coming to that one too.
That's going to be a gnarly show. So yeah, I'm stoked. We got two good shows, both with good fucking bands. And for us, we're just itching to play a fucking rock and roll show, man. Get sweaty on stage and party with the crowd, And I've heard it's been pretty loose in Wisconsin for the most part anyways, so I can't imagine
play with a mask on?
No, I'm not. I can't sing with a mask on. Yeah. No, I'm not playing with a mask on. You fucking can get pissed at me if you want. I don't care. You can wear a mask at the show if you want to. That'd be great, but I'm not going to wear a mask. So
I think it's going to be hilarious when finally all the laws are actually lifted, but there's still going to be certain people that want their 6 feet at a concert. No, they're going to be at front row at a concert, and they're going to be like this.
I've been standing here for 2 hours.
Come on, guys. 6 feet, guys. And I'm just wondering when that's going to happen.
Oh, dude. That reminds me of Hairball.
Yeah.
The epitome of cover bands.
Yeah.
So, in the small town of Glenwood, Minnesota, there's this festival called Waterama. And when I was I think I was just graduated, we went there on a Saturday night to watch Hairball. And, from the front of the stage to, 3/4 of the way back of this big ass blocked off area, it's all a bunch of 35 to 40-year-olds to 65-year-olds just like ready for the 80s music that's about to be in front of them. I shouldn't even say 80s because they do more than that, but anyways, me and my brothers showed up.
It's mostly 80s.
Yeah,
they are Hairball.
Yeah, they're Hairball. And what they do, well, whatever. Anyways, me and my older brother, he's got longer hair than I do, and we're trying to get, we're just like, we're going to the front of this thing, and we're getting like all these old dudes are pulling our hair. They're like, we've been standing here for 2 hours waiting for these guys. And I'm like, it's fucking Hairball. Are you serious?
It's crazy the following and the money that band makes.
I mean, it's Hairball. That's great, and I personally enjoy going and watching Hairball. But it's like, come on, I'm going to see what's on stage. Like, I've been standing here for 2 hours.
And this is no disrespect to Hairball. I would never go to see Hairball. But if I were somewhere and they happened to play,
I would watch them.
I would check them out. But I would never be like, hey, let's go see Hairball. It's never, unless, because I've never seen them live.
Sure.
Not once.
Seen them a couple times.
But the only scenario where I could be like, I want to go see Hairball is if I'm in a mood and I want to see what this is about.
Yeah.
Because then I'll do some shit like that, no problem.
I mean, if you want to see another band play somebody else's music really well, they're the band to go and do it because they do that to a T. Like, they're very well rehearsed at that.
It's so funny.
I
talk so much shit about cover bands. I talk so much shit about cover bands. It's hilarious.
Dude, like, I
just have to be honest.
It's no skin off my back,
this
dude.
Podcast,
like, I just
I've done
don't
it,
care.
and I just have to be honest. Everybody knows it, but I just gotta pretend. I can't pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, and I played in cover bands, and I mean, I talk shit about cover bands too because I look at a cover band as literally a financial thing. Like, anybody that plays in a cover band really doesn't give a shit about playing in a cover band. They're just getting the fucking paycheck. So it's like, I guess whatever.
Yeah, and a lot of
that's how I've looked at it. At least it's like I'd rather go and play a cover show than go and work at Holiday gas station. So that's why it's like I'll go and do that.
You can still swing a drumstick or you can swing a hammer.
Yeah,
I've talked about that too, man. I agree with that. You're still doing music.
You're still playing.
Yeah. And if you can pay your bills off that shit, and if you're paying your bills off that shit where you don't have a day job, you're still definitively, at least by one metric, more successful than a lot of original bands.
I feel like if you're at that point, you have more time for your original band because you don't have to do the day job thing, and the day job thing just consumes so much time.
I think where a lot of bands get trapped is the gigs.
They just do the cover band thing.
Well, and it's the gigs, though. It's like, so you play cover gigs on the same nights you do original gigs. Where do you find the room?
Right.
Where do you find the room to justify giving up a prime Friday or Saturday night gig to go open at this local show where there's 500 people when you could just do a cover gig on a Friday night? Man, I got something.
Well,
finger. I went to itch my shit.
We actually, in that instance, fortunately, like most venues that book us, like, know that, like, the original band, like, is our, like, that's our feng shui. That's what we like now. Like,
you guys got lucky.
That's
the way you did
thing,
it is fucking super unique, dude.
If there was a cover band, if there was a cover show booked and an original opportunity came up, we would cancel the cover show. Like, I'll say this: if it was a good, like, original show opportunity, not on, like, not playing in some place where you can't ever get anybody to show up. Like,
yeah, and
like
this
if I
sounds
want to
like
go and practice our original music, you know, if that's what the type of show is going to be, you know, then we'll still play, you know, maybe play the cover show. But
see, that's what I'm
like,
talking about. See, but you don't know who's at that show.
That is true.
That other show where no one's there, you never know who that no one is.
I mean, that's true.
And that's what's fucked about the original music industry. And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Is like you kind of just said it right there. Like, why would we go do that? There's no one there at that show. Why would we open for those guys when we could go play 3,500 people over here, sneak in a couple originals?
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking shit about it. I'm saying I understand how a lot of bands that come off in the cities get trapped that way.
Yeah.
And so they never invest that.
And they get used to the money.
Yep.
You get used to the money you're making because from playing that music, and you're like, well, I can live off this. I can't live off that. So like I understand, like we've tiptoed in that. But we've always just been like, no, fuck. Like, if it's gonna come down to us having to quit playing cover shows, you know, that's what we'll do. So that's what we did, type thing.
Yeah.
And you know, we canceled a lot of cover shows to go and play original gigs.
You still leave
people.
Some covers in your set? You do any covers?
Yeah, we'll still do covers in our sets.
Sneak one or two in there.
Yeah, we do a cover of, I don't know if you know the band Porcupine Tree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do a Porcupine Tree tune. We've always liked that one. We like kind of sneaking, you know, we'll play maybe an Alice in Chains tune or like an Audio Slave tune, but you know, I like doing that Porcupine Tree tune because it actually fits really nicely in our set, and it's not a super commonly known song, so it's not like. It's just like us doing our spin on a tune that not very many people know. So it's like, all right, well, you know, when they come up and ask, hey, is that your guys' tune? No, it's a Porcupine Tree tune. It's like, oh, well, that's cool. I've never heard of those guys before.
That's cool.
You know,
that's a smart way to do covers.
Yeah. And the song we play is a pretty kick-ass tune, and like I said, it fits really well into our set list. But you know, if we don't have, you know, it depends on how much time we have to fill. You know, if we have to fill, you know, much more than an hour, you know, then obviously we'll throw in a couple cover tunes. But if it's a 45-minute,
I think it's still smart to do a cover every night. My theory is switch out that cover, but that's only because I got jaded. I got jaded once in an original band we were playing, and I was in line to go to a concert, and up on the thing they had the next bands that were supposed to be playing, and they were talking about them, and they were another local band, and then believe it or not, my band got brought up, and they were like, oh, have you seen this other band? And I remember the guy goes, is that the band that does the cover of ... And he goes, yeah. And he goes, dude, those guys are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And most people would be like, that's cool, they're talking about your band. And I had this sinking feeling. It made me sick to my stomach that we were known as the band who does that cover instead of all the other shit we did.
That's the thing.
So now is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate them bitches out. So I got a roster of like 12 covers,
and that's smart.
Never gonna do more than one or two in a night, and they'll never be the same ones back to back.
That's super smart.
We'll never be known as the band that does that cover.
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like that's the trap that a lot of new bands that get signed to bigger record labels, they fall into that same trap because the record label says, hey, in order for us to do this deal with you guys, we see the potential, but we're going to have you guys put out this cover of a song that we think you guys will do really well. And then a lot of times for those bands, that ends up being their biggest song, and that's what they're known for. You know, there's this band Alien Ant Farm, prime example. A newer band called Joyous Wolf. I don't know if you've heard of them before. They put out an EP that's actually a really gnarly EP a few years ago, but they got signed to Roadrunner record labels, and they made them put out a cover. First thing they did, like a cover of Mississippi Queen, I believe it was, and that ended up that's still their biggest song.
That sucks.
And I was listening to their singer talk on a podcast about how frustrated he was by that being the case, because it's like you go to all these shows, you're playing this original material that you put, you know, your heart and soul into it. Yet everybody in the crowd is there waiting for you to do that one cover that you put out. It's like,
yeah, and it's funny because like certain bands have tried to do that with their hits.
yep.
They're like, I don't want to play that one anymore, and it's like too fucking bad. That's why people are here. That's your own
that's
hit.
Different.
That's
you
your
gotta
own hit,
play your
bitch.
hit. Like
It's way different when it's a cover.
it's so
Especially because like
It's
I
way
never
different when
thought
it's
I never
covered.
even thought that wasn't even their idea. I never even thought that the band got forced into
No,
doing
that's
a
a-
cover.
I would say
If that's
I
if
would say
that's way
majority of the
worse.
time it's the label pressuring the artist to put that cover out, and it's either they put it out first or they put it out after their first release. Oh, like they'll put out an EP, then they'll put out a cover of a tune to like hold them over until they put out their next single or their album or whatever. And
I
it's
could
usually
see-
either one of those two things.
I could see once you were bigger, I could see you doing a cover album too, like
yeah, I mean
Guns N' Roses and Metallica did.
I feel like that's a totally different thing, and that you know, at that point you can do whatever the fuck you want, you know.
Right. Especially
know.
then you can like buy royalties
But you're not
and shit.
known for that. Like you already did your thing. You're known for your 3 albums or whatever, and then you're like, I'm gonna do, you know, Garage Inc. So
Yep.
you know,
Well, in that case, it was Garage Days, but yeah.
or Garage Days. But yeah, that's I mean that's a good example. And those, I mean, they had a couple.
It's
good
funny,
covers.
they were
Whiskey in
fucking-
the Jar. Like, come on.
They're hilarious about that. It was like Garage Days Revisited. Then there was another one,
was it-
Garage Days Revisited, and then it was Garage Inc.
Garage Inc. Okay, that was the last one. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a double disc. And
That's
there
right.
was some
That's right.
badass covers on there because it was
Was Garage Inc. the one that the Bob Seger tune was on? I can't even remember which song it was.
Mhm. Turn the Page.
Turn the Page. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. That's Bob
I would
Seger, isn't it?
honestly, I think that version's better than the original one.
I would have to agree with you 100%. I like Hetfield singing on that. That's an oddly good cover that they did.
There's a bunch of good covers on that too.
And Whiskey in the Jar. I mean, I always loved when they played that one for some reason.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
In the Jarro.
I already liked the original from Thin Lizzy, though, so
Yeah.
that one was a little harder for me. But they had a bunch of just badass
I really
covers on
like
there.
Thin Lizzy too.
I actually really like their cover of Tuesday's Gone that they did.
Oh shit, yeah. I like that one too.
They
Oh
brought,
shit, yeah.
They brought in what's his name from Blues Traveler.
Yep, that's right.
It was cool, man.
I don't know. Like I don't care what anybody says. I'm a Metallica fan. I
Me
like
too.
Metallica.
Yeah, literally everything except
You
for
know?
Saint Anger.
Yeah.
Like that one.
Same.
That one. should
That was
just-
the one.
Honestly, they should just delete it.
Right.
They
Yeah.
should just get rid of that and just pretend it never happened.
Yeah. That was just I mean, they were going through a lot of shit.
What about
at that
Lulu?
time, whatever.
You remember Lulu?
No. What was that?
I'm gonna ruin your life.
Lulu.
They teamed up with Lou Reed and did an album with Lou Reed.
Okay.
And it is absolute trash.
What is Lulu the name of that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I've heard about it. I don't know that I've ever heard any
It's an
of it.
atrocity.
Oh God, I just can't imagine where anybody would decide that that's a good idea.
They didn't have Lars Ulrich's dad in the room.
Yeah.
Like,
the,
delete that.
yeah. That's funny.
They need more of that.
You know,
I think most of us need more people like that in our lives.
that's for sure.
Like, that sucks. Don't put that out there.
That's for
Delete that.
sure. That's
Especially on Instagram. Take that down.
you know,
Don't even put that up in the first
you know,
place.
it's kind of funny. Brad Matala, the owner of Essential Sessions Studio, so he did a apprenticeship program for a while called Record Now. I'm not sure if he still does it or not, but that was actually my loophole into the Twin Cities. I wanted to learn how to do, you know, audio production in the studio without going to school.
Sick. Smart.
Without spending the money on college. And I came across Brad in some research, and he had this program he did, which was a lot significantly cheaper and hands-on in the studio. Anyways, So my first experiences with him in the studio, he's like, all right, let's find our way around this thing, singing to, play some guitar, singing to a mic, get comfortable, figure out how the studio goes. And I just remember, like, the very first time ever recording anything started, like, not even 5 seconds in, back to the beginning, he'd hit record again. And it, like, that happened, like, he didn't say anything either. He would just stop, like, delete it and start over. and I was just like, okay, well, that obviously wasn't good enough. So right away, I was just like, okay, I got to get my shit together.
Yep.
Because this, like, he's not fucking around.
Yep.
And that was a good way to learn right off the bat, because he was just like, if it's not good, we're not going to waste our time on it. So he just fucking stop and go start over and hit record. And so that was cool. But yeah, that's how I
need
learned
more people
this.
like that, dude.
Oh, Brad is.
There's
Brad,
too many
There's
too many talented
man.
people out there putting out bullshit.
Yes.
Like,
no, I agree.
Like, there's big artists. I'm not even talking on the local scene right now. I'm talking big artists where I'm like, because okay, you can attest to this. There are so many people along the chain of events from when that song is originally written by someone, even if it's just a riff or two or a lyric idea or a melody, to the band, like, actually accepting it and working on it.
Right.
Then to it getting recorded. Usually more than once, right? There's multiple people that hear that throughout those different phases and versions. Sometimes when we were really young, all we would be able to do at the very beginning is just hit record on a boombox,
right,
and play it for somebody.
Yep.
And then if you were lucky, somebody had a multi-track, and you'd set up a few room mics and get a semi-decent recording. And if you were really lucky, you'd the nenext level was somebody'd have like maybe an ADAT machine or something like that. That's how we did my very, 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 very first demo. And then nowadays it's pretty easy. You make some just simple recordings with some fucking digital equipment, whatever.
Right.
Either way. And then you get to like, okay, we're going to do like the album.
Yep.
You're doing artwork, all that shit. And then sometimes you even make a video.
Yeah.
There are so many people in that chain of events that somebody could have and should have said, this isn't good.
No.
And no one did.
That's part of the problem with the more streamlined process. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need that person standing over your shoulder saying, yeah, I'm sorry, guys,
good.
but you suck.
This isn't good.
Yeah.
And Metallica did it for an entire album. Entire album, Saint Anger, the entire thing. Somebody could have been like, dude.
Being encouraged.
They were like,
almost.
yeah, too many yes men. Somebody needed to be like, dude, no.
Well, Bob Rock was on that one too, right?
Yep.
God, it just surprises me.
I think that was his last record with the band.
Because the big thing on that is Lars's snare drum.
That's the worst part of it. The other part of it is James was 100% sober for, I believe, the first time. They were shooting a documentary while they were doing it.
Yeah, there's just too much going on when you're trying to be creative. Like, and at that point, they were
had a therapist in the band.
And they were they were he
wasn't really in the band.
At that point, they were celebrity status, too. So that was just like the whole documentary thing and that whole deal was just,
I think Bob Rock
part
played
of the
bass
celebrity.
on that record.
I think you might be right.
Ugh.
Because his first record was the Black Album, then he did Load and Reload, and then it was Saint Anger, right? And it was those
that is
four.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah. Which, I will say, and I might catch
hit 3 home runs with the first 3, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I might catch some flack for it, but I liked Load and Reload.
They're good albums.
I think, like, are they metal albums? No. Are they good rock albums? Yes. Yeah. That's my opinion. So if you're a diehard Metallica fan,
they should have just changed their name temporarily to Rockatalica.
But I think part of the reason I like
Rockalika.
Right. I think part of the reason I did like those 2 albums though is because I grew up like a blues rock guy. And those albums are heavily influenced by James. Just like, okay, I'm going to go off on this blues rock tangent thing.
Yeah, he's a huge country fan.
Yeah.
That Mama,
But there was
that
a
Mama Said
Mama
song
Said, yeah.
is a dope fucking track, bro.
Dude, I
it
love
is a
that
very,
song.
very well written.
I like that
classic country tune.
Shit, yeah. That is a
fuck
good...
yeah, bud. Fucking sure is, bud.
Fuck yeah, bud.
Fire that one up on the
Fire that
jukebox, bud.
fucker
Let's
up on the
fucking
turntable
drink
there,
a fucking
boys.
couple Coors Banquets.
Fucking give me a banquet, boys. We're gonna fucking send it.
Fucking let's go out on the pond. Fucking drop
We're
dirty
gonna fucking
dangles on
send
your
that,
ass, bud.
Some fucking country music, eh? Some fucking country tunes, boy.
Dropping beamers in the high beams, babe.
You fucking Marb Lights, eh? Yeah, fucking bush latte.
American Spirits, bud. Full fucking body.
Oh, you and
full fucking body. Ain't no fucking bullshit here,
you
bud.
and Colin, the drummer in our band, he's a fucking big American Spirits guy. I think he might be the yellow packet too.
Oh, this
if
is
I'm
gold.
not mistaken.
This is gold.
Ah, that is correct.
I'm waiting for him to come out with.
Correct.
I'm waiting for him to come out with platinum.
The raw cigarettes. You know what I love
I don't know.
about
I think it's
Coors?
all bullshit. They just last a lot longer, so I smoke slightly less of them. Like,
Dude, honestly,
I smoke just less than pack a day if I smoke American Spirits, but if I smoke any other pack, I'll be at like any other brand, I'll be at a pack and a half.
Sure,
but I can smoke less than a pack with these.
So when I smoked cigarettes, like even on a regular basis, like I fucking smoked Marb Lights, and I don't remember what the other one was, and then when
Marb Reds,
Marb Reds, yeah, the Cowboy Killers. When Colin joined the band, he was a big American Spirits guy, and I freaking remember the first time I smoked one, I was like, Jesus Christ, did I just get done running a marathon? Like, fuck, it took me 2 days to smoke it, and I'm completely out of breath. I've been standing in this alley for fucking 36 hours trying to finish this cigarette.
That's fucking hilarious. Let's play another tune, dude.
Let's do it.
We've already been going for like 2 hours.
Oh, shit, it's been that long?
Yeah, and
that's cool.
I'm not going to cut it short, but I got to make sure we don't go super late on this one because I got some shit I got to do to get ready for my trip tomorrow. So I got this one queued up and ready to go.
What are we playing?
I don't know. You tell me.
We'll see what happens. Some Open Your Eyes.
Open Your Eyes. mute it.
That's cool.
And then just to be safe, I'll make sure that media is not on anymore.
Sure.
And then we're back to normal. Boom.
That's sweet.
And then I just get
cool.
out of there.
Good to know.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. Well, I've been.
I barely have to touch that fucking thing now. It's pretty much just for media. And then unless I want us to,
really nice.
Unless I want us to go back and forth between the cams again, and then I just
Sure.
hit that, and it goes back to the scene switcher for us.
That's gnarly. Yeah, I've been wanting to / trying to get my own podcast off the ground for like the past year or two, and just haven't made it happen. I just haven't done it.
What do you want to do?
So I'm always just like trying to like pick up on what people are doing to.
What do you want to do?
Make it more streamlined. I mean, honestly, something similar to what you're doing. I always envisioned it. I know you're not strictly a music podcast, but I was going to gear mine more towards musicians and like I just wanted to do the same thing, hang out with local musicians, fucking drink some beer and talk about music.
It's fucking awesome.
That's pretty much exactly what I wanted to do, you know. I'm a beer connoisseur. I fucking love coffee. I love music. I just wanted to talk about those things with other musicians that seem to also enjoy those things as much as I do. So that was kind of what I wanted to do.
That's fucking dope, dude. Yeah,
So,
I actually am
I
a
don't
beer
know.
connoisseur as well. Do you brew beer?
Never have, always have wanted to.
All right, I'll tell you what. So I've been talking about doing this forever. That is a kegerator.
Oh, no shit. Oh,
So
yeah. Now
I think I can get 3 corny kegs in there. So those are each 5-gallon kegs.
Okay.
And I've got 3 kits over here.
No shit.
And I want to do a brew beer and party sometime.
That'd be sweet.
And like, I think I'm going to film it and do some cool extra content and put that in the Patreon. And
Okay.
it'll just be all us
yeah.
partying and hanging
That's a
out
great
and brewing beer
idea.
and shit. Because I got to figure out what the fuck am I going to put in there for the people that are actually in the Patreon. I've been really slacking on that. I apologize,
Right.
guys. Content's coming. But regardless, you'll have to come by. We'll fucking do that. It'll be awesome.
That'd be kick-ass.
Because it's basically not
I'm
only
all
are you
about that.
brewing beer, but it's also just an excuse to hang out and drink
Drink
beer.
beer.
So everybody
Any excuse.
Everybody brings like 1 or 2 6-packs of some
Cool.
crazy wild craft beer. And yeah, you're basically sitting there fucking everybody
try this.
samples beers
Yeah.
while we're sitting there brewing beer.
That's
Because
dope.
there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of fucking hustle and bustle when you got to get shit done in certain time.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
But then it's a lot of just sitting there for 45 minutes doing nothing, waiting for shit to happen.
Right.
You know, and we can we'll do like all 3 in one day. So it'll be like a long hangout. Like
That'd be sick.
Like we'll really, because the total, it's like 3 to 6 hours if we did all 3. We could
Sure.
even just do 2. Because if you just do 1, it's like an hour and a half. And it's like, well, what now?
How does homemade beer turn out?
It depends on how good you are at it. And I'm bomb as fuck.
Well,
no,
you,
so to
you
start
have
off,
me convinced.
So to start off, actually, because I doubt my skills because it's been so long, I'm just going back to the kits.
Sure.
And then I'm just going to slightly modify them
Okay.
in ways that I know I'm not going to like get crazy. But I had
Right.
gotten so good to the point where I was actually writing my own recipes from scratch.
A brewmaster.
I wouldn't go that far,
The
but
brewmaster general.
I would not go as far as to say brewmaster, but I was definitely confident enough to start doing them from scratch.
That's cool.
And I hit a couple home runs. A lot of them were just okay, and then I had a couple real bad, like the alcohol content was so high in this one. It was like, it was so hard to drink because it was like almost chemically.
Yeah.
It was like
you're drinking moonshine.
I put way too much sugar in that motherfucker too.
So you say you get like a kit. What does that all entail? Like,
So we get, so I do extract, so it's easier and it's faster.
okay.
So basically, and it's also, it's about room. So if I went full grain, it's a whole other setup, and I don't have space for that, right?
Sure.
So we get it's hilarious because it's basically a giant jar of syrup.
Okay.
And that syrup is what it is they've taken all the wheat and grain and barley
Yep.
that they want, and they've boiled it and mixed it and then concentrated it down
That's cool.
into just this syrup. And it's
Okay.
I go through Northern Brewers, so it's always
Interesting.
super fresh. And
Sure.
then they also give us real grains.
So you can get this from like
homebrew
breweries.
store? Yep.
Okay.
A
that's
homebrew
cool.
store. I'm
Oh,
sure
I see,
some
I
breweries
see.
out there are
A homebrew store. Okay.
I guarantee you there's a brewery out there that's smart enough to sell their own homebrew kits.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a another selling point because
Yeah.
you're never gonna make it as good as the brewery
Correct.
itself. So you're
Because
always
they're
going to go
always-
back for
Yep,
more.
and you always have to change it for scale. So if
Sure.
like you and I brew 5 gallons here, that's going to be one recipe.
Yeah.
It's not going to be identical to what they're, especially if you're doing extracts.
Right.
But then they give you hops, so we'll have
Okay.
the hops. We'll have some extra grains to steep. Like if we do the fucking chocolate stout,
Sure.
there's actual cacao nibs that you put in the secondary. So once it's all done, you actually put chocolate in the beer while it's sitting there in the
Interesting.
glass jar. Yeah, and we'll go through the whole like first stage of everything, and then some of the rest of the magic happens a couple weeks later when you transfer it. There's more processes to it, but you'll at least get to see the actual brewing of it.
That's cool.
And then if you want, you can come back over in a couple weeks, see the second stage, and then sometimes it's like 4 to 6 weeks for it to sit there and do everything
Let
total.
it ferment and do
And then
all that stuff.
That's when it gets boring, is at the very end, because normally you'd bottle, but I don't. I just dump it in a fucking keg, pump up full of CO2, wait a few days, and then it goes in there.
I mean, that's smart as hell if you have that. I mean,
It's way
fuck it.
cheaper than buying beer.
Right.
And it is as good or better than the beer you're going to buy at the liquor store.
Once
if
you
do
get it
right.
down, yeah. If you get it down, I like.
And I'm joking, it's really not about talent. It's actually just mostly about keeping your equipment clean. If you're doing kits,
Sure.
just follow the instructions. It's pretty easy. It's hard to fuck up.
Shit,
And,
I might have to give this a whirl.
If it tastes like shit, it's usually
Do it
because
again.
you did something. Something got dirty and unsanitized.
That makes sense.
That's usually what it is.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yep. And if your beer gets contaminated, here's the best part.
So you got to wash
never get
everything
sick.
really well.
Not even
between
just
each
washing
brews.
it. It's not even washing it. It's you just have to make sure everything's sanitized.
Sure.
Because if anything not sanitized gets in there and starts to grow or spread, it won't get you sick because it's alcohol. You'll never get sick.
Yeah. It's
Unle-
just gonna,
unless
it's
you're
gonna
an
affect the
idiot.
taste.
Unless you're an idiot and you actually drink it too early and you get active yeast in your belly.
Yeah.
If you drink it too early, you might end up sick. But if your beer just gets spoiled from some sort of thing, it's just not going to taste right. It's going to, and that's just, you didn't have your shit clean. Something
Right.
in there, and that includes
Some sort of bacteria.
that includes you using a normal sponge
right.
to rinse something out because you think it's clean because it's
Yeah.
got Dawn dish soap on it. Like no.
Use a fresh one.
You don't even honestly, you don't even usually scrub most stuff. You use things that do pressurized water to clean the debris off of stuff,
Sure.
and then you use an actual
Like a
sanitizer.
sanitizer.
Yep, and that cleans, and then you rinse that out, and then you do one more stage of a sanitizer that's a foamed up sanitizer,
Okay.
and you don't even rinse that. That's what I'm saying. So you leave the foam on everything, and you just start
Rubber.
doing it.
Interesting.
And so everything is truly sanitized at that point, I think is what most guys do,
okay.
is they fucking wipe shit off. They use sponges that can carry bacteria because then you set it down on your counter
Sure.
and that's not properly sanitized in that once. But then you take that back up and you wipe something else.
That
You
makes
clean your
sense.
spoon
Then
off
they
in between
know.
shit.
Smart.
And then you dip. I'm just speculating,
Right.
but I've never had
if
a beer.
I were a brewer,
When
this
I
is how it
followed the
would go.
kits, I never had a beer go bad. Every single dud I
Interesting.
had was
Okay.
when I tried to get creative with the recipe, and I just didn't know about mixing the right ingredients at the right ratios yet. So
Sure.
I was just way too high on my alcohol content, and I was way too low on my malts and hops.
Gotcha.
My malts and hops to counteract that.
That makes sense.
It's a dance. That's
Dude,
all you're doing.
That's such a any brewers out there, like I wonder I mean, obviously once you have your brewery up and running, you're fucking well rehearsed enough, but I still wonder how many batches get thrown that don't make the cut. I mean,
Yeah,
is
I
that a
wonder.
thing? Like
I wonder. Well, let me tell you this: at
You
big
know?
breweries, so at huge breweries,
like Surly. I mean, they're a big brewery in town.
so
Do they?
Coors Light, no, not Coors Light. What is it? Busch Light.
is from Bud Light, right?
Busch Light is Bud Light that didn't make the cut.
Yep. And yeah, and
So they
and
literally.
Keystone is Coors Light that didn't make the cut.
I think you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Weird. I like
they do that.
Keystones.
They do that. So
Yeah.
if big breweries do it, then
Fuck it.
small breweries.
Yeah.
But in craft brewing,
it's
it's
different,
not about
though. It's-
perfection. It's about like the unique, because like a craft brewery usually won't make the same beer forever.
Sure.
They might have one or two staples that they do regularly, but that will even change over the course of 2-3 years based on the hops they're getting, Even if you keep getting the same fucking Citra hops over and over
Right.
again, you're not always going to get them from the same farm. You're not
Sure.
always going to get them in
yeah,
the same
I mean,
amounts.
right.
You know, different variables in there. The water can change. You know, you might have to substitute ingredients from time to time based on demand.
So is just to be a smart ass, is a mustache like a prerequisite to being a good brewer?
I definitely think it is.
Because I feel like
sort of
all the good
glorious-
breweries I've been
Yes.
to, there's a guy back there with a fucking awesome mustache.
Or a beard.
Or a fucking killer beard.
I do
And
believe it's a
I think
prerequisite
that's
to have
gotta
a
be part
glorious
of it.
facial
Like,
hair.
Man. And I can't
Theme.
grow facial hair, so I think I'm screwed.
You'll get there. I couldn't grow.
My father didn't bless me with facial hair.
This little patch right here is just now starting to fill in.
Ah,
Like almost my entire adult life, it went all the way up,
sure.
and it was just like half of my neck. I just had this huge patch of hair that wouldn't grow in for years.
I can't.
For years,
I
it
just
finally
can't do
went
it.
away. And
I
it's still there
tried.
a little bit. It's still very small, right below my jawline and into my neck.
Sure.
But now it's about the size of 2 quarters.
I'll try. I've always, for whatever reason, I've always just for shits and giggles wanted to have a gnarly handlebar mustache,
Be
just
awesome.
to be that guy
Just
on
keep
stage
shaving
that's
it.
like,
They say that
got a
doesn't work.
handlebar.
They say it doesn't
But-
work, but I'm telling you it does. Just keep shaving it
Oh,
and
we'll
let
see.
it grow back and keep shaving it. Let it get to a stubble, shave it.
My mustaches,
Stubble,
whenever I've
shove it.
tried, are pretty questionable. I'm like questionable as to whether or not I should be anywhere near a school.
That's why I don't go the
Yeah.
solo stash.
Better not do a mustache.
I look hideous in the solo stash, dude. It's pretty bad. It's
I
pretty
just
bad.
feel like you gotta have pretty big balls to just rock the solo stash and do it well. Because like I feel like that's
Without
a-
something down here.
yeah, it's a pretty tough sell. If you're
Yeah.
a guy that just shows up with just a mustache, you're like, all right. Everybody's like, okay, I know what's going on here. Like, fuck, this guy's packing something. I mean, Jesus.
What's your favorite kind of beer?
Other than Coors Banquets,
No, like just styles. Like styles. Like
I actually like
I like IPAs.
IPAs. That's just to like
technically like a I think this is like a lager.
a lager. Yeah,
Technically, I think it's a lager.
I
don't
like-
think this is. An
I
ale.
like just your classic pale ale, not necessarily an IPA, but a pale ale where it's a little less hoppy.
Sure.
I've always liked those. If I'm feeling frisky, I'll go for maybe a hazy IPA. I like hazy IPAs, but fucking hazy IPAs are so usually pretty heavy, and man, you can get waxed
Dude, I was
drinking
on this
hazy
fucking-
IPAs all night. Whew.
I was on this smoothie
Man.
IPA kick for a while. Those will fucking ruin your night. They taste
Oh,
so
really?
good. They taste so good, and you just keep sucking them down.
Oh man.
And then all of a sudden, you're just ruined.
Oh man, you ever been to Bald Man Brewing down in Egan?
Mm-mm.
They have a really good hazy IPA.
Do they?
Oh man, we were there. We actually played a show there. I think it might have been like not long after I turned 21, and like, I was just hammering on those hazy IPAs. The last set was a little questionable.
You sent me a picture from the State Fair, I think.
Oh man, yes,
Yeah.
with the Uncle Daddy shirt on.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
Dude.
daddies.
Dude, if the State Fair's opened up, we gotta go.
Oh,
we
shit,
gotta go.
yeah.
We gotta get a bunch of the
Love
crew
the
together.
State
We gotta
Fair.
get a bunch of the musicians together and go and just
We
hang
were
out
having
and fucking.
so much fun.
Because dude, the beers at the State Fair, bro. Have you done them all?
So-
Have you done like the dill pickle beer?
I have not done the dill pickle
amazing.
beer. Is it
Sounds
is it actually
disgusting.
good?
It's amazing. I loved it. It's amazing.
Interesting.
Have you done the mini donut beer?
Yes,
Breathtaking.
that is.
It'll
That was
change your
one that
life.
was. I was like really surprised that I
Right?
liked it.
I know, right? It sounds
I was
like
really
wait a minute,
surprised
wait a
that I
minute.
liked it.
God, it's so good.
It's weird.
Did you try the s'mores beer?
I did not try the s'mores beer.
That one's bomb.
God, I got to get out of my comfort zone a little more when it
Dude,
comes
that's
to
the whole point
beers.
of the State Fair, dude. Like, dude, you got to do it with me.
If it ain't on a stick, it better be in your beer.
Dude, you got to do it with me. Because me and my wife got it down, and I want to go more than once next year. Because her and I, we think. So here's how we always have done it. And she finally bought in, and now that she bought in, she's like, "But now that we find, and I agree, it's a great way to do it. She's like, but I want to try one more thing. So we're going to try next year doing the same idea, but we're going to split it in half and go twice.
Okay.
So usually is what we do is we get there in the morning and we do like one blitz whole fucking day. It's crazy. We're there at like 8 or 9 a.m. and we don't leave until the park closes.
Sick.
And it's not because we don't want to or we're trying to like, meh. It's because if you do it right, you can just do everything in a really easy way.
Sure.
So we map out like the foods we want
Yep.
and the drinks we want based on where they're at and what time of day we want them. So like Kate wants this fucking alcoholic coffee thing. That's how we're going to start our day. Okay.
Smart.
So we walk in, we start there, and then we map it out. And so, because if you go with a big group, you end up on that one main street. Like, oh, this person wants to go down here and get wontons. Oh, this person wants to go down here and get a corn dog. Oh, this person wants cheese curds. And you just walk back and forth on like basically one block the entire time. And then people are like, dude, the fucking state
Never
fair.
got anywhere.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I've been there. It's like okay.
Yeah. I've fallen in that trap before.
We hit everything. So by the time nightfall comes and the sun is setting, then we go to the Midway. When all the lights come on, you go to your Midway, play some cheesy carnival games.
Shit, yeah.
But while you're doing that, dude, and there's so much walking and so much exercise, dude, you can eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want.
You can drink a surprising amount of beer as much walking as you're doing.
Yeah, and I go home sober is the point.
Yeah.
Just hammering all day. I'm hammering dark beers, IPAs. You just got to stay hydrated because, like, man, you go in the summer.
Yeah, you catch that late August, early September.
Yep.
Oh, you get a humid Minnesota day. Whew.
I went one year with Kate. We went one year with Kate, and luckily we were prepared for like a really hot 80-degree day, but it ended up being like 98.
Oh shit.
So we were like dressed fine.
Yeah.
But damn, dude, like you had to take breaks. You had to like go sit in the shade for a while. Ice suddenly was $12 for a cup.
Have a beer break. Oh, you were doing that the whole time.
Yeah, no, there was no breaks for beer. I guess it was a beer break because you're like, I need a break from beer.
Yeah.
No, but other than that,
hilarious.
that's it. Dude, we go home sober as much as we're drinking because we eat and walk. Fucking great, dude. Yeah.
So you're a coffee guy.
A little bit.
Or not so much.
I mean, I drink coffee.
Okay.
A lot. But it's just black
like
coffee, dude.
Right. Yeah, that's the way I am. I'm not a cream or sugar guy. I like it fucking to the bone. And I was just like, I don't know what it is. It seems like coffee and alcohol for whatever reason are a nice mix. So I like the coffee stouts, beers, always good. Fucking Jameson coffee, just a good old fashioned JMO. Shot of Jameson or a shot of Jack in your coffee. It's like,
you ever drop a little Fireball in your coffee?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's
pretty good.
I'm more of a Jack Fire guy than a Fireball guy. I like Jack, and man, I've just had some questionable experiences on Fireball.
Me too. You drink enough of that shit, it'll make you fucking hallucinate, bro. There's something about that cinnamon, man.
Oh, and it's just terrible gut rot the next day.
Yeah, if you drink too much.
It's like, man. So
I like it in the winter when I'm snowblowing.
Just Baileys, man. Just Baileys in your coffee.
My favorite though is when I'm snowblowing in the middle of the winter. It's cold as fuck out, and I'm doing my thing because I hit the neighbors' houses and shit, and then I just stop for a minute, just that tiny little baby bottle of Fireball.
Sure.
Take a little hitter. And it's just that little bit of cinnamon.
Warms you up, nice.
That little bit of cinnamon and that taste of that whiskey.
And you don't give a shit that you're freaking snowblowing. You're having a great time.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. I love it, dude. Literally, that's the only time I like drinking Fireball.
The ways to get by living in a Minnesota winter.
Fireball.
Drink alcohol.
Specifically for me, Fireball. No, but
that's funny. You know what I've found that I really like before a show? Especially if my voice is feeling just a hair questionable. A hot brandy, just with a hot brandy, like, you know, hot water, shot of brandy in it with like a splash of lemon juice.
Oh, bro, your career is headed for a smack bottom if you're already drinking hard alcohol to get ready for shows.
No, like it's not about the alcohol. It's just like it's like tea, but with brandy.
I guarantee you scientifically that's terrible for your voice. Whatever comfort it's doing
I don't
for
know
you
what
is
it does.
Psychological.
Hey, I don't know.
Whatever comfort it's bringing
it's
you
psychological.
is 100% in your head.
I like a hot brandy before the show.
Oh
I sound
my
like an
God.
old lady. Just pour me up a hot brandy.
For real, that's what that sounds like. That is.
Just pour me up a hot brandy so I can get ready for this show.
Oh my God.
Don't forget the lemons.
I've been joking. I want to come to that show in Rice Lake. And if I come to that show in Rice Lake, I hope I remember. I'm going to buy you a hot brandy. And I'm going to bring it to you while you're on stage. I'm just going to walk on stage. And I'm not even going to go
the hot brandy.
I'm not even going to come from the underneath and hand it to you. I'm just going to walk on stage and hand you a hot brandy.
Hand it to me. Hand it to me right after we do Open Your Eyes. That is going to be what saves me for that.
No,
set.
I'm doing it mid-song, mid-lyric, mid-verse, heat of the moment.
Just give me the hot brandy. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know why. I it's not like something I do before every show. It's just like there's been a few times when my voice has been feeling questioned, with you, dude. And I'm just like, yeah, fucking hot brandy, sure. I mean, yeah, I don't get like fucked up before a show, but I don't not drink either. If that makes sense, like
yeah.
Like,
I couldn't drink before a show when I was a singer.
There's a fine line, obviously, but I know what my threshold is, and I know what it takes to get there, and I also know there's a sweet spot where I can perform without booze, but man, there's just that little bit. And it's like for me as being like a front man, I'm a people person. I could talk to anybody about anything. But there is times depending on the show and stuff where I'm just get a little bit in my head.
Sure.
And just being the front man and talking to the crowd, it's like, man, just that couple beers or one shot before
especially
I go
if they're
on
not
stage.
Responding at first.
Yeah.
It can really fuck with you a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Like, I'm not saying I rely on alcohol to perform, but in certain instances, depending on your frame of mind, it helps you break out of the shell.
Yeah.
As long as you don't go and take fucking 6 shots of Jack and then go on stage.
I couldn't do any booze when I was a singer, even beer, because just one drop of it would fuck my voice up. But as a drummer, it was one beer.
Okay.
I could have one beer leading up, and that's even like a Summit IPA, like a stronger beer.
I can't drink IPAs.
And then one during the set as well.
Sure.
But while I'm doing the set, I'm drinking that beer really fast. I'm also drinking water, and I'm also drinking a soda, like a Sprite or a Coke or whatever I can get my hands on, actually.
That's the thing for me too, is I sweat and so much when I'm playing and I'm just pounding water.
Exactly.
That it's almost impossible. Like there's been a couple times where I've gotten too fucked up on stage. I'm like, never again will I let that happen. Embarrassing. It's just like, you don't want to be that guy.
No, you don't want to turn into Scott Stepp.
Oh Christ, no. So it's like, okay, you figured that out. Don't do that again. So you know your limits, and you do that, and I just want to perform and fucking put on a kick-ass rock show.
Just want to rock, man.
Just want to rock. I want to headbang, and I want to scream, and I want to.
That's my mantra.
Sing my balls off.
I just want to rock.
I want to rock.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's what's great about rock and roll.
Or is it more Sheryl Crow, like, all I want to do is have some fun?
I don't know. It depends. Sometimes I'm in that mood, too.
I'm not the only one.
Good old Sheryl Crow. What producer? Wasn't there a producer that worked with her and then might have even married her? Was it Sheryl Crow? One of those 90s country or pop
Shania
stars.
Twain married
Shania
Mutt
Twain.
Lange.
Mutt Lange. That's what I'm thinking of. Shania Twain and Mutt Lange. I don't know why I know that or why
Mutt
I
Lange
thought of that.
Produced the Def
Mutt
Leppard
Lange
shit.
is a fucking gnarly producer.
Yeah, he's behind the Def Leppard shit and a bunch of other bands.
Doesn't Mutt Lange work with AC/DC?
I think so.
God, I don't care
I know
what
he worked
anybody
with
says.
a lot
I
of those
love
British
it.
bands.
I love AC/DC.
I know he worked with a lot of those motherfuckers.
I know every song sounds the same, but every
what else
song
we
kicks
got?
ass.
We got 2 more videos to play, right?
I think just one, maybe two. I think just one though.
I thought you gave me 3. I think you gave me 3, bro.
You're right, I did. I sent you the Look at Me Now and then our live studio version of Fly From Here, I believe.
Oh, that's right. That's dope. Yep. That is what
let's prime up one of those.
That should work. What song is this?
Look at Me Now. It's off our second EP.
All right. Yeah, and he's like one of the nicest guys on the planet. So
Yeah,
if
he
even
is a
he's
really
like,
nice
oh my
guy.
God,
Yeah.
like what's happening here? If he's even saying that, it's like,
Right.
ugh, there's something. It's not just me being a dick, but that's original, a good tune too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, original, I mean, finding your original sound and taking the time to really
that's right.
work.
We were muted. They have no idea what we were talking about.
Yeah, we were talking about,
I think it's cool that you guys have your own sound. You don't sound like a band. Like straight out of the gate, you can't be like, oh, you guys sound like so and so.
I appreciate that a lot. I mean, obviously, people will say you sound like this or you sound like that or we hear this or we hear that, which is cool. I mean, you got to respect where your influence came from. But it's such a good feeling when you're really honing your original sound and people recognize your original sound and enjoy it. So, I mean, we've just been stoked. Our past few releases, we've been finding ourselves, I feel like, really well, and people have been digging what we've been putting out. So now it's just, keeping that trend rolling. We got, like I said earlier, we have albums worth of tunes that we've been demoing out. We've been in the demo process for a little while, and Ian's actually now part of that. I sent him a bunch of tunes the other week that we're kind of going through.
Ian Combs,
because he met with us.
Shout out to Ian.
Yeah, shout out to Ian. Ian's the man. Great producer. For those of you who don't know, Ian mixed What You Need, our latest release, and fucking nailed it. So we're gonna keep working with him, and he's a kick-ass dude. Anyways, he met with us at the studio a couple months back and kind of talked about a game plan, and we told him, we have a bunch of tunes that we want to get prepared for an album and do some single releases with, and so he's like, all right, well, we already had a bunch of the demos. He's like, well, I'd like you guys to revisit your demos, pick them apart yourselves before I put my hands on them in any way, shape, or form. So we just did a demo weekend. We tracked live. It actually turned out really well. Our live sound guy was there for it, and we just tracked through an M32 into Logic. So we had fucking asinine amount of mics on the drum kit just cool, for a demo session. But we're trying to not only see, here's what some people don't understand about like the demo process of songs and writing it and your sound. It's not all about like the songwriting and the song itself. A lot of it goes into the production and how you recorded the song and how you like the sound of your drums and how you like the sound of your bass and your guitar. So the demoing process is really important. So we fucking mic'd up we put a bunch of mics on the drum kit because we're trying to figure out how we like our drums to sound on our records and stuff. So that's a really important part of the process. So Ian's been, he's been really, really cool and good about that, like making sure we really hone these songs in before we go into the studio and record them. So we've decided on what the next single is going to be, and right now it's just basically getting our schedules to work together to get in the studio and knock it out, because we track the demos and stuff live, and we've been playing, a few of these tunes long enough that we can get in. And I really want to track the drums. I want to try and get all the rhythm parts tracked live. Like, I'm feeling old school in a way, but
nice.
There's something about the energy that I feel like, from a personal standpoint, we've lacked in our recordings, and that I think us, even, isolating guitar cabs and bass cabs and stuff, just being in the room, playing together live, we're a live band. That's how we've always been. So capturing that energy in a studio can always, that's the most difficult part of the whole process, is capturing a band's energy and putting it to tape,
100%. 100%. I'm so glad you know that. That's so true. That's
the
what
biggest
your
part
job
of
is.
it.
And that's why you said this earlier. You think like some of the music has gotten a little watered down because of the way it's streamlined in its process.
Yep.
That's exactly the point, because they're writing this music on record to begin with, and they don't have that equity of year, because now certain guys could get away with that, right? There's certain guys that could get away with writing a banger of a tune right to tape. I get that.
Yep.
But they also did what you're talking about for years and years and years.
Exactly.
And there's something so magical about that, with that equity and that magic and all those things that happen. And your job is to develop your sound and write these songs and be great live, and then capture that on record, not the other way around. You don't write something insane on record and then go, how the fuck do we play this live?
Exactly.
That's how you get a bullshit live show.
Exactly.
And again, even if you write the most banger ass tracks, cool, maybe you get a lot of listens on Spotify, but you'll never be a great performer and actually make money, because you're not having fucking concert sales and the extra merch that goes with that. You can sell shit online, cool, but you sell more shit usually at a concert if you're good. So you got to get that backbone of that performing.
Right.
It's so important.
And there's a place for music like that. If your intention is to never be a live band project, you can go.
Then say fuck all that.
You can go that route, because you can record really great music.
This is only if your intent is to be a live band. You're right, and I should have said that.
But if you're a live band, you got to make sure that you can replicate your sound in a live fashion.
Keep going. Keep talking. I got to go to the bathroom. Also, guys, throw your questions in here.
Yeah.
So as soon as he's done making his point, he's got some people to talk to. There are some people in chat here right now. Just make sure that you read those questions out loud, so you're not just staring at the screen. But yeah, keep making your point, because I got to go to the bathroom here.
I'm trying to remember what I was saying. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, we were talking about just playing live and
and
capturing that sound
being
on
a live
record.
band. Yeah, so that's like for us.
And that tied into how Ian's involved, by the way.
Right. Yeah. So bringing this all together, that has been very important to us. This whole process of us being a band. We always want to be good live, and we want our records to emulate what we are as a band, and that all goes hand in hand. So that's Ian's been cool, and he's been he's the next step in the process. We've never worked with a producer before. And it's good, it's good to have somebody looking over your shoulder, saying, hey, that's cool, but this might be cooler, or that doesn't really fit, or adding his potential flavor on things, just how he records. And with What You Need, our last single, we didn't track that song with him. We tracked it on our own at Essential Session Studios, self-engineered. But Ian was able to take the tracks that we sent him and really kind of started putting our. He's like I can hear where you guys are trying to go, and I can hear the sound that you guys are looking for, and I'm going to help you guys get there. And that was like, okay, that's a great feeling. So we're just super excited to be working with him. And thanks at Cobra. Oh, that's my Uncle Andy. Thanks, Andy, for
What You Need.
For the
What
and
You
Tanya,
Need being an excellent
thank you.
tune. Yeah, thanks for fucking chiming in, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys hit subscribe.
Appreciate it.
We were joking about that earlier.
Hit the subscribe button. It's really easy. All you do is go over to it with the mouse and you click the mouse. It's one of the easiest things you'll ever do.
For real, and it helps a ton. It really helps so much because we got to
so
get to 1,000.
hard.
And likewise for my fans and viewers and listeners that are watching this, go to YouTube, go to this description, and actually you don't even have to go to YouTube. Whether you're listening to this or you're watching now, it's in the description of the audio or the video, and you can click on it and go to the issues. YouTube page.
Yep.
Because we were talking about this earlier. You guys have 94,000 views on your music video, and because you don't have 1,000 subs, you haven't made a dime off that on YouTube. You could have been getting paid that whole time. So we got to help get him and his band to 1,000 subs. We got like 200 and something. So if everyone ran over there now,
you just hit 200.
No, we've been at 200
or
for a little bit.
Over.
We got more than 200 now, but I lose them as fast as I get them. So I don't like quoting exact numbers anymore because I never know.
I'm trying to remember where the heck we're even at. We're not at 200 yet.
You're almost to 200 though.
I think we're close.
Yeah, like 180 or something like that.
Sounds right.
Right around there. But yeah, as soon as we get you guys to 1,000 subs, as soon as I get to 1,000 subs, then we actually and you don't have to pay for shit.
No,
YouTube pays us just because people watch it, and 94,000 views.
Yep.
I mean, that's at least probably $100.
Yeah,
probably not $100, but
I have no idea.
It's probably like $6.
We'll take the.
It's probably
the $10.
But hey, man,
what was interesting? So we with our second EP, we did a licensing deal, and we got, or I shouldn't say we did a licensing deal. We pitched our songs for licensing deals, and we got a handful of licensing deals. That was with Tinderbox, that company I was telling you about earlier. I don't remember if we were on air or not, but so like that's when we really kind of figured out like how to register our songs with BMI and collect royalties and all that stuff. So it's been pretty heartbreaking looking at the amount of streams you get and the amount of dollars you don't.
Yep. It's ridiculous, dude. Dude, it's like you get like 0.00000.
I will say this.
Three of a penny per stream.
What surprised the shit out of me was we did I think also with that second EP, we did a going for ads campaign, pitching your music to radio stations. And we actually got went very well, I would say, for our first time, pitching our music to radio. We had over 100 radio stations across the U.S. and Canada that picked us up and were playing our songs. This is all college radio. But we made way more money off of our music being played on radio than off of streaming. Like, not even close.
That's fucking crazy.
And
there's way more streams. And there's more
streams, and I didn't realize. I guess I didn't at that time. I guess I didn't really realize you got necessarily paid for your music being played on radio.
You're supposed to get it.
So
you're supposed to get paid wherever, like including jukeboxes. So even bars are supposed to have
and stuff. Yeah,
it's called an entertainment license.
Yep.
And even to just play music in your bar, you have to have, I think it's a Class D entertainment license.
That's correct.
And that's because you have to pay a monthly thing, and then that money is given to the artists that you play in your bar.
Which is a good thing.
And then it's another level. It's another level if you want to have like karaoke, right?
Oh,
that's a second level. And then if you want to do live music, but it's like local bands up to a certain capacity, that's like a level, like a Class B or something like that. And then if you want to do like national shit, it's like a Class A. And you have to get licenses for that.
Interesting.
And if you don't, the fire marshal can show up on site and shut that motherfucker down mid-concert. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen.
Well, some venues, I presume they're venues that are just original venues where they won't even allow you to play like a cover song in your set.
Yeah, so the point is subscribe.
Afraid. Yeah, subscribe.
Thank you, newcomers.
It's not that hard.
Please subscribe
it's
to my
really
channel.
Easy.
And all my regular listeners, please go subscribe to his channel.
Crepes.
Let's get her in there.
It's going on.
What does the meaning of the band name mean? What the issue? Where did that come from? Did you come up with that?
And it came from that guy.
Your uncle?
Well, kind of came
Your
from
uncle?
him. Yeah,
This sounds sus.
This is my uncle.
This sounds
my
sus
uncle,
as fuck. So the band name The Issue came from your uncle.
Yeah.
This is suspicious.
It's no. All it was a simple conversation of him saying, "What's your band name?" And we say, "I don't know." And he's like, "Oh, that sounds like quite the issue you guys have going on." And we're like, "Oh yeah, I guess that's our band name now."
The Issue. That's brilliant. I can't believe it wasn't taken.
The band name.
I can't believe it wasn't taken.
There was a band called The Issue at one point in time that's no longer a band.
And you were allowed to take the trademark?
Yes,
That's brilliant.
We own, or we're the official artists on all the. And honestly, I recently found out about that because the first thing we did was, obviously you Google it, you look on Facebook. Okay, there's no other bands called.
The first thing
Issue.
you do is go to the USPTO.
Well, yeah. Then you do that.
That's the first thing you do.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Because it doesn't matter if they're on Google
when you're a millennial,
or Facebook.
When you're a millennial, the first thing you do is you go to Facebook.
Are you a millennial?
I don't even know.
I don't think you are.
I don't know what I am. I'm too old to be a millennial.
I don't think you are. I think you're a Zoomer.
Yes. A Zoomer.
Yeah. You guys are going to save the fucking world, man.
I'm fucking zooming, baby.
I try to tell my generation that you guys are laughing at us.
Yeah.
And you are.
I don't know. Our generation is interesting.
In a good way?
In both ways.
What does that
There's
mean?
a lot of good and there's a lot of
worthless
there's a lot of good and there's a lot of
generation?
bad. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad. There's a lot of... I will say this for my generation, there's a lot of hardworking kids and there's a lot of kids that think they're owed something. So I'm going to say that and that's it.
I thought for the longest time that your entire generation just wanted to get famous on YouTube. So everybody just wanted to be a game streamer.
That might still be true.
But between... And I've said this many times, so I'm not kissing your ass or blowing smoke up your ass. Between you, my little brother, the Stormbreaker kids, fucking Joey from Uncle Daddy, there's a whole newer, younger generation of fucking awesome, badass kids that have completely defied everything that my generation is worried about or afraid of, like the death of live music, like rock and roll, heavy metal, like... all of those things that my generation is convinced are real, your entire generation is like, what are you talking about, man? We love Queen. We love Def Leppard. We love Motley Crue. We love Metallica. We love all that shit. And look at our bands. Like, look what we're doing. You guys are more of a throwback than half the bands we're in.
Well, I think to that point, and what's partially interesting about that, and I'm not going to be the guy that says rock is dead or ever was dead, but we kind of grew up in a period where rock wasn't really that prevalent, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense. Yeah.
Like, I feel like it was just all fucking modern country music and pop music, and it's still not. So, like, for us, there was never a point where
when do you quote unquote say you grew up? Like, when are you putting that? Because you're 26 now,
25, yeah.
So when do you...
I don't even know. I'm not grown up.
When did you grow
right
up?
Now.
10 to 20? Is that what you're... 10 to 20? Is that when you grew up?
I would say,
So that puts you at
I guess...
What time frame are we talking about
it's 2021 right now. I guess I graduated high school in 2014. So 2005 to 2014.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's fucking Beyonce, it's Jay-Z, it's Nickelback. That's your rock.
Shinedown, like Avenged Sevenfold, like
a little bit. They were already kind of on the outs.
Yeah. I mean, so like there wasn't like that much like
Nicki Minaj.
The thing is, like, you didn't go on the radio like. There were few and far badass rock bands and metal bands on the radio. Like, if you listen to 93X or Rockin' 101, like, there were very few, like, and here's a new cut from a new rock band, and you heard it, and you're like, holy shit, this is the greatest thing I ever heard. You're just like, that's cool. It was all...
That's awesome.
That's why country
I'm actually
music
glad to hear that, because I was thinking and feeling the same thing in that time, and that's when I started the Tyrants. I think
that's a big part of it.
Was like in that I think it was like closer to like 08, which is kind of just in the heart of that era. Because it was right after I left Dying Euphoria that I launched that band. because I already had that idea to start that band while I was in Dying Euphoria. And that's exactly what I saw. There are no good kick-ass rock bands out.
And I'm sure
like
there probably were. I'm sure
that polished, like you said,
right.
Shinedown, Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah, exactly. Just overly polished, like, man, and it sucks because like,
then it was
I
either
liked
that
the first
there was two other bands that were actually big. Kill Switch, and then
Kill Switch was good. I liked Kill Switch.
They were big,
Engage.
and then that was the beginning of Five Finger Death Punch.
Godsmack 2000s, or was that 90s?
That's late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah. But then, but that's also the birth of fucking Five Finger. That's when they came up.
And
so
Full Beat.
I don't like that band. La 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 la. Thank you. I
saw them live. They were good live. I like the song Still Counting, and that's about it.
More than I've ever done.
Yeah. They were opening
I just don't like it.
They were opening for Godsmack at the Armory, I think is when I saw them.
I saw them open for Metallica, or technically they opened for Avenged Sevenfold, who was opening for Metallica. Sure. But it was garbage.
At US Bank.
Yeah, it was garbage. Yeah. But I don't blame them. It's that room.
Because
everyone sounded like shit.
They were the opener.
That everyone sounded like shit except for Metallica.
I've heard that about US Bank.
It's a terrible concert venue. I'll never go back.
XL or Target Center?
No, I'm saying US Bank.
No, I'm saying which
one's better?
Yeah, between the two, where would you prefer?
Oh, it's not even close. XL.
Yeah, that's
Hands
what I was
down.
going to say. Not even close. It sounds so much better at the XL Energy
But
Center
you know what's
than Target Center.
You know what is one of the sneaky best venues in town? The Armory.
I love the Armory, dude.
I would actually rather go see a cool band at the Armory.
So would I. Hands down. Hands down.
But
the couple
let's
shows
just be honest.
I saw
Elton
there,
John's not playing at the Armory, bro. He's
and I'm
playing
probably
at the XL.
not. I mean, I would go to Elton John, but I'd probably try to go to a show at the Armory before I go.
Fuck your world up.
Dude, I do like Elton
you would
John.
literally leave.
I'm trying
right
to think
now,
of the song that I really like by him.
If he was playing tomorrow night, and we went to Elton John, you would walk out of that concert and you'd go, "Fuck, I got a lot of work to do." Like that old fucking dude just ran circles around me.
Is it not bitch or something?
The bitch is back.
The bitch is back. That's Elton John, right? Mm-hmm. I fucking love that dude. That's a good song.
He's got a bunch of bangers, dude. Saturday Night is one of the coolest songs ever written.
You know, I just love.
Your song is one of the most beautiful songs ever written.
I always find myself still going back and listening to classic rock. It's like, come on, you know. It was just that time, like. I think about like bands like Led Zeppelin and like Black Sabbath. I mean, even, you know, the Stones and the Beatles and stuff. And like just being a human being, going about your business, hearing what's on the radio at that time, and then all of a sudden fucking Black Sabbath comes on the radio and you're like, Jesus Christ, what the hell is this? Never heard anything even close to this before.
Do you know what he
or
wanted?
Zeppelin?
Do you know how that band was birthed?
Well,
Black Sabbath?
Tony Iommi, wasn't he the main guy that started the band?
I believe so. And Ozzy joined because he wanted to join the evil Beatles. He wanted to be in the evil Beatles. That was the whole thing. That was the whole idea. He wanted to be in the evil Beatles.
All those England fuckers, man. They just knew the time period that was the world was.
But that was the depth of his musical explanation.
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
If you think about that, though, that is an incredibly profound statement. Because the Beatles are arguably the most groundbreaking songwriters of all
whether
time.
You like them or not.
Correct. And they are definitely the first successful band.
Rock bands.
Like just band.
Yeah,
If you really think about it.
For sure.
There was other bands before them, but not like this. Most people were solo artists.
Elvis
and
was
then you
a
had
different
a backing
thing.
band. Exactly. You know, you had a lot of famous musicians, but not a band like the Beatles, where they had a fucking name, where it was a group. You know, you had quartets and fucking shit like that, but again,
it's
not the same.
Not
we're talking straight up, like they invented the modern day rock band
and the effect that it had to
on
people
society,
at large. You know, it wasn't just like, you know, where like Elvis like was a big deal in the States, and he was like, I mean, in a way, like the first pop star,
right? But then to turn all of that and go, and then go, but evil.
But evil.
Like, and that's also profound because it's in 2 words, evil Beatles. You're basically saying, I want to be prolific and great, groundbreaking,
right,
and genre establishing style band, but I want to go dark with it on purpose.
Right.
Like, we're going to do this thing almost like not filling a niche, but filling an entire vacuum that people didn't even know existed.
Never heard of before.
Because out of Black Sabbath, you got all of heavy
So
metal.
much.
Without
that's
Black
where it stems,
Sabbath,
yeah.
There's no Jimi Hendrix, there's no Eddie Van Halen, there's no Metallica.
Yeah, wasn't Tony Iommi like the first guy to do the drop tuning?
I don't know, but he is definitely the first guy to intentionally go and try to find an amp that had distortion in it. Like, he overdrove amps on purpose. He was the first guy that really did that and made that. There was other guys that did
Jimmy
that.
Page was doing it, but it wasn't the same style.
It wasn't distortion.
Right.
It wasn't what... And I don't think Page was out before Sabbath.
No, he wasn't. Sabbath came before Page, for sure.
I mean, Page was around in, like, way back in the day.
he was a studio guy.
Yeah, and he was... I think Page
the
was even in the
Yardbirds?
Yardbirds. Yeah.
Because that was, like, Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page and...
Fuck, there's a lot. I think Clapton was in the
Clapton,
Yardbirds.
that's got to be, like, the original supergroup, right? Before anybody knew it.
Or the Stepping Stone, yep.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy how many great guys came out of that band. But
that is, that shit blows my mind. So that's why it's just like, I can't imagine being that person, but it's also on the flip side, it's so hard being a new rock band where it's like, all right, fuck. How do I come up with an original sound? Yeah. Or how do I sound like myself?
So I think that, okay, so as a vocalist, I never figured that one out. But as a band, I think it's really actually not easy to do, but it's not complicated. Basically, you all try to approach, you have a general idea of the style of music you want to make, right?
Right.
But you all approach it from slightly different influences. You don't step on each other's dicks.
Yep. You let each person have their space.
And you accept the finished product.
Exactly.
Because then as long as you don't go, we want to sound like Metallica.
Right.
I'm okay if you lack the creative ability to describe shit and you go, I want to go a little bit more like
Metallica-esque.
Let's go Metallica load style a little bit more with the like way we're doing certain things. Like, I kind of want a little bit more of that sound. Like, I'm okay with doing that because I direct my guitar player like that. I'm like, give me a little bit more David Gilmour in this spot. Give me a little bit more Kirk Hammett. Give me a little bit more Dave Mustaine. Give me a little, see if you can go Eddie Van Halen on the bit. I'm explaining styles.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I mean,
if that's what you got to do, cool. As long as you don't set out and go, I want to sound like, we got to sound like Avenged Sevenfold because that's what's popular now. You're immediately setting an expiration date on the popularity potential of your band because as soon as that style isn't popular, you're not popular.
Well, and it seems like a less wholesome approach to me. It's like, and honestly, I will say this about streaming and like the way the album world has changed is I think you're allowed, or you can get away with more easily now, get away with the fluctuation in the sound of your releases. So for example, we put out that song Open Your Eyes. That was the first single we put out. Then we put out What You Need. They're pretty drastically different songs. Open Your Eyes is more metal, and What You Need is very much more
sound
rock.
Like you.
But they both sound like us. That's the thing, is like, you can get, as long as you hone in your sound, you can dance around with styles and still make and still do that, for example. And I think you have a little more freedom to do that in the streaming world than you did necessarily in the album world. Because when you made an album, you're like, okay, I'm going to have a collective group of songs that are in line with each other. Which is also important, I think, because that's just a sound capture of where you were at that very point in time. But I think in the streaming world, I think that's partially why we've decided to go the singles route for a few releases here before we put out an album, is so we can, like, our next single is going to be more on the rock side of things, but it's going to still even sound a little bit different than what you need. So it's like, okay, we're going to do these 3 things that sound like The Issue, are a little bit different in their essence.
But you're kind of showing your creative breadth.
Exactly. That's how we broaden our fan base right off the bat, because we get people that dig this song and they dig this song and they dig this song and they're like, oh, that's their, like, I dig them for that song, but I can appreciate the other songs because I can still hear.
And then the other 2 will grow on them.
Exactly.
Because they still like that first 2.
Exactly.
That's perfect. That's also a great segue because you're talking about the streaming thing. So you guys did this live performance thing.
Yes.
We'll play this. I want you to plug all your shit one more time, because when we get done with this, I'm going to basically have this play us out. So this will play,
awesome.
and then we're going to do the outro. Where can people find all your stuff? What's the name of the website again?
Hit us up on theissuemn.com. You can find all our music on there. Our merchandise is on there. We have, our content, our videos and stuff. They're all on there. Find our YouTube channel. Facebook at The Issue MN, Instagram, all that fun shit.
Yep. And the 2 most important ones are go to the website for anything like real, all the stuff we just talked about, to get in contact, booking shows,
booking shows,
merch, all that shit. The second most important thing is to make sure you guys go to their YouTube channel and hit subscribe. So we can get them above 1,000 subscribers, so they can actually monetize that channel. It's that simple.
Yep.
Because they're already getting the views. We just got to get them 1,000 subs. And same for me, especially you guys who are new, please hit subscribe here. Even if you're not into podcasts and shit, fine. Just unclick the bell so you don't get bugged. But
it's that simple.
Help us support and help us grow.
April 30th with Via, Rice Lake, Wisconsin. May 15th, Route 47. We're with Stormbreaker and Revenant Soul. We'll see you guys there.
Both of those shows.
That would be fucking awesome.
I might end up at both those shows. All right, and this is, do you remember the name of this song?
This is Fly From Here, live at Essential Session Studios.
I think I got this right. Let's go. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, one more it is. All right, thank you guys so much. We are The Issue live from Facebook. Check us out on our Facebook page, facebook.com/TheIssueMN, or on Instagram @TheIssueMN. You can find all our stuff and keep up to date with us there. Thank you guys. Good night.